Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Foreplay. First and foremost, a huge congratulations to Tony Finau. I think we all breathed a huge sigh of relief when he holed his putt on the 72nd hole, and then when Cam Smith airmailed one way right on the first playoff hole. We're all over the map right now, Foreplay, in terms of travel and different locations. So we recorded a great show with Patrick Peterson, telling tales from Liberty National, serial debates, all kinds of good stuff. We will break down the Tony Finau win more in detail on Thursday's show, which will also feature Colin Morikawa. We had a great show for you today. Please enjoy, and please tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, Episode 2 from our Michigan travel series, Forest Dunes. We're playing the same course we played last week that you saw, just the other direction. It's a reversible golf course. Enjoy, 8 p.m. Eastern, YouTube. Let's talk some golf. Foreplay, presented by Barstool Sports. We have the full squadron today. I am in Scottsdale for a couple days. We have Trent Ryan and Frankie Borelli are in studio at Barstool HQ. And we have Benjamin Lurch Severance. Is, in a hotel there, Lurch?
I am. Got trapped in Boston. Was supposed to be actually back in San Diego today, but hurricane kind of showed up, didn't show up, and now I'm just trapped here. So I'm flying home tonight.
Right. How bad was the hurricane?
I mean, I would say it was just one of those things where it was preemptive and they just shut everything down. Like, I woke up yesterday at 7 a.m. saying my flight was canceled, and you could have flown. Like, I don't know what it was like in New York, but up in New England area, it was like a little wind, a little rain, but I would just call it
storied family history of pilots. So if Lurch says you can fly, fine.
I've said this on this airways before, but meteorologists need to be held accountable for being this wrong. At some point, we need to do something about them just throwing out outrageous claims of weather.
Well,
and I understand
you got to play devil's advocate and say that you got to warn just in case.
3 days prior to Hurricane Henri, is that what the name was? Everyone was calling it Henry.
Henry, but there was a name change. I think they dropped the Y and added an I.
So
Henry was. Is it like Henri? Is it almost like language appropriation if we say Henri? Like we say Henry, that's what we say.
I was calling it Henry, and then someone corrected me and said Henri, and that's now the new thing that I'm saying. So, but the real problem here is that 3 days prior to Henri's arrival, I couldn't even watch the Yankee game because I was getting blue screen saying prepare all life and property for devastation, like legitimate, like end of the world type messages that I was sending screenshots to Trent saying this is over. Like they said. Hurricane Henri barreling towards the heart of Long Island. Like everyone stay safe or evacuate if necessary. Like so,
I sent you
that
could
one. Give you a
that
heart attack. Is my point.
It just said Long Island direct hit in bold red lettering. So I do agree with you that they go over the top with the graphics.
How many
sometimes.
people died from just the preparation of Henri than they did of a little sprinkle?
Few heart attacks.
Grocery stores are behind this because like. Everybody then just runs to the grocery store. It's like a stampede to get every last item possible.
I put my tinfoil hat on, and I think big fucking,
Which one? Which big?
Well, I was going to say, one of the big supermarket all get together, and they're like, it's time for everyone to come grab some bread and milk.
Let me ask you a question. Like 150 years ago, okay, let's say it's 1870. And a hurricane is barreling up the eastern seaboard. How does the forecast or news of that, like, does someone in Carolina see it off the coast and they send a fucking horse up the coastline? Like, right, that's what I mean. Like a fucking hurricane's coming, or do they just get blindsided? Like they're out there playing golf and then all of a sudden, like, it got a little dark here, and then wham, they just get smoked by a hurricane. Like, how did that work before TV or internet?
I think they just was the almanac available back then?
Probably.
When was the almanac created? Well, I'm just thinking, like, if someone just reports on what happens on, like, a yearly basis, I think Henri goes down as just a rainstorm that happened, like, in mid to late August. I don't think back in that day it ever gets recorded as a hurricane.
It wasn't a hurricane.
Agree with that,
it wasn't even a tropical storm.
I don't mean reporting. I mean, like,
how are they aware of it?
I mean, like warnings on the East Coast. Does the hurricane just appear and they're like, oh, fuck? Or did they know a couple of days in advance, like, hey, our boy's down? There has to be some sort of carrier pigeon. I don't know what it is. But
I bet it is like a Paul Revere situation where you just go from town to town telling people that this is happening. The first town, unfortunately, gets flattened. but the rest of them then take the news of the flattening and they're saying, everybody take cover because this thing might be headed your way.
I also
Or
don't
like
know.
the
They didn't
first
know
ship,
anything back then. They didn't know anything. This is
that's why I said
the tip of the
almanac,
iceberg.
because you're just the almanac would be like the thing that would be the warning shot, right? Isn't that like recording weather year over year,
But
and
I
just
would
saying
say,
like, oh, in late August this
yeah, but that
happened?
doesn't like tell you when there's a hurricane.
No, but it's
2
like
days away.
generally time frame of the year you have to be cautious about this showing up.
Yeah, but that doesn't change the way that you live. Like if you're in Long Island, you're not like, oh, it's hurricane season, watch out. Like you're just fucking a sitting duck out there on that little piece of strip of land, and all of a sudden something comes in. I was wondering about like the first, like the first ship that's out there that just gets absolutely steamrolled by this trop. Like you got no idea something's out there back in the day. But then I also would say I think that they were pretty fucking good at this stuff. Like their awareness and ability to use the elements and patterns and stuff to kind of predict weather was really good, because they had a sharpened, heightened sense of these things, whereas we know nothing. We just log on to weather app, blue little fucking app on your phone, and if it doesn't say a hurricane's coming, then you just go outside and live your normal day. That's it. We don't use any instincts whatsoever.
Well, and also back then there was no, I don't know, what do you call it, disaster porn. Like the graphics that they're using feels like disaster porn, where they're like, oh, look how crazy this is going to get. Look how crazy this is going to be. Where back then it was very much just, it's either going to happen or it's not, so prepare accordingly. You might have more clear information back then than we do now, because now people are, like we're saying, with the graphics, they were crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what we're talking about now. All I know is that what I want to say is that they're not held accountable enough. All right? They have to be more correct on a more consistent basis. They do. It's almost like I was telling you guys, I know a guy who was going to school, and now this could be debunked once this is now on the airwaves, so I actually am glad I'm saying this.
That'd be really surprising.
He was saying that he was going to school to be an engineer of planes, an aerospace engineer, I believe is what they were called.
Yeah.
And
True. This is great.
And he claimed that when you are showing up to your duty, or like when you have to fix something on the plane, you have to sign a waiver saying that if anything then goes wrong after your assessment of that plane, like you are liable for all the things that happen to the plane after it takes off. So it instills this fear upon these engineers to not mess up or to not want to like fuck anything up, because like deaths are on your name, and like you go to jail for murder.
It was even deeper. It was like the people that build the plane, like when there is a plane crash, they work obviously from the accident site all the way back. And if that all the way back path leads to you, whether you're the guy that designed how the screws go into the engine, or whether you're the guy that missed the checkpoint on the tarmac, whoever that person is, you get charged for like 250 murders.
Yeah, so I don't know that I said that. I don't know if it went to everyone. I remember this guy said that he learned that in this like specific class about aerospace engineering.
Okay, so let's now say that you want to clearly do that with meteorologists.
Yes.
Then they're doing what you want them to do, because they're saying it's potentially coming because they're worried about that happening.
Well, no, they're being extra cautious. It doesn't work like that. Like it doesn't work the same as working on a plane, because there's like either you die or you don't in a plane. I don't know how it's not a good comparison, because they're just always going to say a hurricane's coming then. Like there's no comparison to being right. Like the plane people have to be right a lot of the time. They have to be right almost every second of their lives.
Yeah.
I would argue that the meteorologists are the same way.
The meteorologists are wrong 99% of the time, man. They're so wrong. They're the most wrong people on the planet. We all just say, all right, yeah, that's weather, Mother Nature. They're super wrong, dude.
But they're wrong in the right way.
Yeah, sure, because they want to save their ass. Like, they always have this, like, backup plan. Like, well, what else would you want? You want us to not tell you next time it comes? It's like, just be right also, next time. One time, be right.
The stakes on a day-to-day basis are quite different. Like, if it's going to be 76 or 81 and, like, 30% chance of rain or 20, that doesn't really matter. If you get the fucking engine wrong and the plane just falls out of the sky and blows up in a giant fireball, that's a problem.
We need answers on that because I was told by some guy at Men's League Hockey this. So this could just be completely wrong. I'm now saying it to hundreds of thousands of people. That's something that I usually do, and I'm usually wrong on these. I would love to get your responses, your DMs, your tweets. Let us know if you are liable. Maybe there's like one specific guy that is. Like, is it like the checkpointer that's like, yep, this is all good to go. Go fly on your way. Because if it's not in place, it should be.
Should be.
I think it is whoever it goes back to that fucked up. I think that no matter who
200 deaths.
I think.
I mean, if that's shared in class, I think half the class just walks out and says like, "This."
Well, that's what happened to this guy.
Right.
He said he went to go work on boats.
Oh, he just left the class.
He left.
Yeah, there's a shortage of people because they get to that point in the lesson and they're like, "What?"
He said there was way too much liability for it. He's like, "I'm way too stupid."
So you're telling me there's not that liability for boats?
I don't know that there. I think he's like I think
he's got to get out of the transportation game. He's got to figure something else out.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, he had my jaw on the fucking floor when he said that. So I think it's true.
There's something else you're very wrong about, I think, that we're going to talk about. But first, we have to talk about Owen's Mixers, which is our title sponsor, our very good friends at Owen's. I'm holding the mint cucumber and lime version right now, which is one of my favorites. Quite refreshing this time of year when it's very warm out. We also have the Barstool Transfusion, which I'm also holding right now. This lovely little can's cute, okay? 8 ounces. You pour that in, pairs with vodka, as it says on there. You go to owensmixers.com. You use Amazon. They do the next day shipping, and you just get any Owens that you would like. And then we've got the grapefruit and lime. These are the 3 that I pulled out of my fridge right now.
Look at that.
Yeah, this pairs with tequila, vodka, and champagne, which I haven't tried that yet. Have you guys tried grapefruit, lime, and champagne yet?
No.
I bet that's refreshing, though.
Sounds fucking awesome.
Grapefruit, lime, and champagne?
Couldn't you put any of the ones that you've now put on the screen with champagne? Like, you could put champagne with a transfusion. Why not?
I don't know.
You could pair anything with champagne.
If it's fruity and tasty, it's no different
Listen
than...
to you mixing things in.
Huh?
Listen to you mixing stuff up.
Guy goes to one meet and greet in Hoboken. Now he's mixing things up.
That was fun.
That was a great time.
That was a fun meet and greet.
Very good time. So big thanks to Owens again. They put on that meet and greet. They're supplying lovely cocktails for everyone. So go check out their website, owensmixers.com. Go check out Amazon and get it brought to you, or just go to a store and figure it out. Big thanks to Owens Mixers. Simple. You pour it in with your liquor of choice. You just have an awesome cocktail. It's very simple. Cereal. So ironically enough, this came from a couple quick announcements. We have Patrick Peterson on the show today, who will come in a few minutes. One of the best defensive players in the NFL for the last 8-10 years. I was thinking we haven't had a ton of NFL guys on. I know Kyle Rudolph has been a longtime friend of the program. Frankie, Trent, myself, Dave, we went up and played in his charity event 4 or 5 years ago, right when we started Foreplay.
Winsong Farm.
I'm sure Winsong Farm's great track. I'm sure I'm missing some names or just not thinking about it. We haven't had a ton of NFL guys on. Patrick Peterson, big golfer, awesome guy. We didn't really know much. He got set up through our booking team, which did a great job. Awesome guy. Told some great stories. He's at the Vikings now for the first time. He's at a new team. He was Arizona forever. Big time golf guy, and I think 8 times straight Pro Bowler in the NFL. So literally one of the best defensive players. NFL season is upon us. He's on this show. And then we have Colin Morikawa on Thursday's show. We check in with Colin Morikawa. We talk about the suit situation, which was fantastic. We talk about a couple other things perhaps related to cereal, which I believe stemmed this debate between our very own Trent Ryan and Frankie Borelli.
Yeah, it happened as soon as we signed off with Colin Morikawa, and I actually want to give you the opportunity to present it because you seem like it's in your head that you haven't gotten a fair shake on what's going on with this. So I'm going to allow you to present it.
Don't
then
be like
I'm
that.
going to.
You're being like this because you're cocky because you know you're correct. You know that the public perception of this is that I'm wrong, and I've already said that I will not be talking about cereal on Twitter.com, the website, any longer. I've removed myself from the debate. You can't tweet at me about it anymore. I'm done. But basically it was, I don't know how it came up, but I said I love to mix my cereal in. I love to throw in, different brands of cereal, different types of cereal into one bowl. Trent looked at me like I had fucking 5 heads. He goes, what does that even mean? I don't even are you even speaking the language that I speak? And I looked at him like, okay, is this another one of those sauce incidences?
Okay.
when you just didn't know what.
Don't turn this into something about
Yeah.
me now.
Didn't know what
Because
sweet and sour sauce
the
was?
look that you gave
You're
me when
reaching.
I said
You're reaching right now.
the look you gave me when I said, "What are you talking about? Nobody mixes their cereal." You looked at me like you had
I
7
looked around the
billion people
room,
behind you
and
who
then
were about to
Jake
agree
was like,
with you.
"Yeah, I mixed my fucking cereal too." So I'm like, "Uh-oh, I've got him again. I've got Trenton against the fucking wall." And I
Yeah, you
tweeted
got
it out
Jake
immediately.
Bass on your side. That's
Bad.
bulletproof.
Bad.
So many bad steps by you that when you originally tweeted out what you were trying to say, people didn't understand what you were
They
saying.
thought I meant, yeah. So
Which is what happened to me as a neutral observer of the situation.
here's the problem is that I like to mix cereal together. I don't like to go crazy. I'm not a lunatic. I'm not mixing outrageous flavors together like you would. Like people are picturing going up to a soda machine and just going down the line and mixing all the sodas and just being a fucking anarchist. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm finding compatible cereals that like to go together. Things that are in the same family, grouping cereals. It's a good experience. It's an enhancement of the cereal experience. I didn't think that this would cause such a stir. I'll take Frosted Mini Wheats and I'll take Frosted Flakes. I'll throw them in the same fucking bowl. They're the same family, 2 different crunches, 2 different styles. You put milk in it. It's a nice taste. I'll sometimes use a base. Rice Krispies is a nice base. It turns into a fucking mush pile of nothing. You throw that in with Frosted Mini Wheats and you have your crunchy and your soft all in one bowl. It's an experience.
Riggs and Lurch, I'm talking to you two right now. The look that Frankie gave me when he realized that he was on the wrong end of this is a look that I will cherish forever.
Yeah.
Because he really thought that he was on the right side of it. He was like, oh, everybody does this. Watch this. And he tweeted it out, and instantly people were saying, white trash. Nobody does this. You're crazy. Serial killer move. No pun intended.
A lot of
And
people
it
said
was just
that.
so many. And it's something that I will really, that look that he gave me, the stunned look in his eye is something I will cherish forever.
A lot of people said they'd do it also. Though.
Frankie, how long until you knew you were wrong? So you put the tweet out there, you kind of corrected
Instantly.
it. Was it instant? It was just
Yeah,
matter of
it's a
seconds?
4-tweet thread on my end. I was scrambling.
I don't mind that you mix different cereal brands because you're a scatterbrain that makes sense with your personality, your situation. It's a crazy thing that I'm not stunned that you do. I'm shocked that you thought it was normal, that you thought other human beings on a majority level partook in this same type of cereal mixing activity, which is crazy. Nobody would fucking do that. You pick a cereal, there's a certain mood that you're in that morning, you pour that in with milk, which is what the mixing that I thought you were talking about, everybody thought you were talking about.
Right.
And it turns out that you're talking about mixing different cereal flavors, which I don't think I know another human being who I've ever spoken to who actually told me or I knew or was aware that they partook in such cereal mixing sorcery or witchcraft or whatever you're doing.
We mix food all the time. Like it's not like, I mean, you have a bunch of boxes of cereal in your cereal fucking drawer. Like, how is it such a like otherworldly idea to throw them all in the same bowl? To me, it's like people can't even comprehend the act of opening 2 cereal boxes at the same time, putting them in. I mean, they're both the same thing. It's cereal. They're both, it's not like I'm taking fucking, what do you mean no? I literally explained how like Frosted Flakes and Frosted Mini Wheats are in the same fucking like family. Like if I have both of them, how is that like, oh my God, am I picturing something from another world right now? Like, wait a minute. Like, what are we talking about?
I would
here?
argue that those two that you just named are so similar that there's not much of a difference. So why mix them?
Like, it's just because it's all the same thing. Maybe you like just have them both with you. I don't know. Like, you're just if you have them together, it's delightful. It's delightful. Try it.
When you said to me in the car that it's just like when you have rice with sesame chicken, Jake and I almost pulled the car over and kicked you out.
I was trying to think. He had me scrambling. It's not fair that you're bringing up car conversations now. But That's what Dave does to me all the time. Like we'll be arguing about something. Like I'll say something, I get caught in the fucking.
You were trying to work it out.
You were trying to work it out, and he'll be like, "Oh wait, what was that?" Like I don't know actually. It's like the one time I said that when I said cricket was really famous, and he goes, "No," he goes, "Cricket people are not famous." I'm like, "I think they're the most paid people in the world." Like under my breath, I said. And he looked up all the most paid athletes in the world, and they weren't even the top 100. I was like, no, I was just kind of like mentioning it to you, like real quick. I didn't think this would be a tweet.
Throwaway comment that
I didn't know it was going to be a tweet. I remember people were just like, what, Frankie? Like Whitney's like, what did he say? It's just like, I just throwaway comment. Listen, I mix my cereal. My dad probably like mixes his cereal. It's just something that happens in my house. We just mix the cereal together. We're not doing Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Puffs. We're not getting crazy.
Again, like Rick said, that's fine. But then to think,
I thought it was real. I thought it was a thing, man. I guess you know what this really opened up. I don't know everyone's cereal habits. It's something that like I thought I knew.
I just think sometimes you're out of touch with reality. Is kind of what I think.
Well, you know what the craziest part is that so we spend a lot of time together, obviously, and then he starts to look at me like I'm crazy, but I've realized that he's the crazy one, and what he's trying to make me think is crazy, but he tries to make me feel crazy. So it's really, luckily I was able to spot it this time, and I felt it, and then I saw his instant reaction when he realized that the whole world basically is against him. But sometimes I'll get stuck in his tornado of craziness and actually believe that I'm the crazy one.
It's nice that we have a public forum where we can.
I'm also admitting I was wrong. I'm admitting
but you're still defending it, though.
Well, yeah, I'm defending the act of it because there are people that mix their cereal. I'm not the only person in the world. There are a ton of people in the comments saying, yes, I do this as well. Like that's just a truth.
I don't know about a ton.
There are.
What's the poll?
The poll I got fucked on.
90-10.
The poll I got fucked on. No, but read the poll.
I'll read it right now.
They gave no option to say no.
All right, I'll agree with you that the poll.
They wrote what with the question mark as the option.
But say you put yes or no and it's 1585 instead of 90.
Loaded. It's a loaded poll. You think?
It was a bullshit poll. Whoever did that should be hanged in town square.
I'm trying to find it right now.
Honestly, it was a bullshit poll. It wasn't yes or no. It was like of course and what with a question mark. So obviously everyone hits what.
That is what it is. So it was posed as, do you mix your cereals? And the options to vote are of course and what with a question mark.
Like, come on, dude. That's not true. That's not fair.
I'm just saying that mixing cereal brands was so foreign to me that when you wrote that tweet, I didn't even consider it an option. Like I didn't even register for me until I saw the video of you two walking at gorgeous Liberty National with Lady Liberty in the background debating the topic, and I had to kind of flip my whole script upside down and re-enter the conversation understanding what you really do.
And the whole time Frankie was waiting for our editor-in-chief and cereal expert Coley Mick to weigh in and hoping that would be his last, he would be his savior, and then Coley disagreed with him and it was over. And then it's just over. And he admits it now. There's still, I can feel a little part of him being like, it just feels like this should be normal, but it's not. And
he tried to drag you into the McDonald's sauce debate, is what
when it's very different. It's very different.
I think you guys should try it.
Did you and your buddies do it growing up? Because
no.
I think everybody compares when's the last time you shared a bowl of cereal? It's like sleepovers when I was a kid, and none of my buddies did that. So did your buddies?
No,
who do you know else mixes cereal besides people in the chat?
People in my family, I guess. We've done this at my house.
Because you said you had buddies texting you being like, we've never done that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try it. I'll give it a shot. I'm not against trying something. I'll try anything.
Try and find your combinations that you like. It's just a different, I don't know.
The pairs you were saying make sense. I'm not going to knock frosted mini wheats and frosted something else. That sounds
the Rice Krispies and the Frosted Mini Wheats is such a dynamite combination because Rice Krispies becomes this bowl of oatmeal, and when you mix in something that has a little bit more structure to it with that, it's crazy how good it becomes. I mean, it's a fantastic sugary breakfast.
So, what's your favorite cereal? Mine's Captain Crunch through and through.
See, I don't want to start doing all these cereal takes. I'm a Pops guy. I'm Frosted Flakes guy. Frosted
Cookie
Flakes,
Crisp?
Frosted
You guys
Mini
ever
Wheats.
like Cookie Crisp?
No, see, I think that's all childish stuff.
Cereal is childish by nature.
Yeah.
Right. We asked
Well said, Riggs.
we asked Joel Damon and Harry Higgs out at Liberty National today about cereal, and they both stone-faced said, "I haven't had cereal in over a decade." And we were like, "Okay, yeah, us either."
Yeah.
We were just talking about it. When like I eat cereal, sometimes over a weekend I'll buy like 3 boxes of cereal, and that'll be all I eat all weekend.
And do
when
you
you
just
get
eat
it,
it
it
out of the
goes
box
quick.
sometimes with your hand?
Every way, every delivery system.
Yeah.
In the bowl, with my hand, pour some on my stomach, whatever it takes to get it in my body.
Riggs, a good mix for Cookie Crisp is Reese Puffs and Cookie Crisp.
Listen to the
together.
words you're saying right now.
So that's a guy who mixes his cereal. But you don't think that's a representation of what you do.
No, I don't do Reese Puffsies and Cookie Krispies.
Now
I
you're
have
trying
just
to distance yourself within
I
the
have-
small
I have
cereal
real
mixing
fucking
community
cereal.
from another
Right.
cereal.
You can't.
mixer.
You can't.
You got to take Jake Bass
I have-
on there.
I have-
I
That's
think
gotta
you
be
gotta
a
accept him here. You gotta accept him and endorse
Jake
what
Bass
he's
fucked
saying.
me today.
You're like you're Bryson saying Cobra sucks. You can't be doing that to
you
to
are.
people.
I don't want to talk
You
about
need
cereal
all the
anymore.
allies you can get right now.
Let's talk about golf.
We're going to get to golf. Before that, we got a very important message. This Labor Day weekend, the U.S. Department of Transportation's National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, transportation has been a big topic of discussion already on this show, working together with the law enforcement community to decrease impaired driving. NHTSA, which is what I just read, and local law enforcement are working tirelessly to spread the word about the dangers of drunk driving and to remind all drivers, if you plan to drink alcohol, plan ahead for a sober driver, drive sober, or get pulled over. That's what they want you to remember. These expanded efforts to protect against impaired driving will be conducted in a fair and equitable way. Keep in mind, at the end of this little public service announcement, I am going to have to read this URL once again. So I would like everyone to mentally prepare
Can't
for that.
wait.
During the,
I wasn't here the first time for that, so I'm excited to see it in person.
It's a trip, honestly.
I can't wait.
You won't believe how we'll get there. During the 2019 Labor Day holiday period, 6 p.m. August 30th to 5:59 a.m. September 3rd, this 2019, 38% of fatalities in traffic crashes involved a drunk driver. We're not trying to bring some sad note. We're trying to bring awareness to how dangerous impaired driving is. In fatal crashes during the month of August over the 5-year period, 2015 to 2019, 8% of the drunk drivers involved with a BAC of .08 or higher had one or more previous convictions for drunk driving. Among drivers between the ages of 18 and 34 who were killed in crashes over Labor Day holiday period in 2019, 46% of those drivers were drunk with BACs of .08 or higher. Again, it is extremely dangerous. I think everyone on the show agrees. If you're going to drink, figure out transportation, get an Uber, get a Lyft, have your mom pick you up, have a sober driver in the group, something. Trent's a lot of times our sober driver. We try to, again, coordinate, plan, come up with some kind of plan because it is not worth it at all. Not only are you putting yourself at risk, you're putting every other person on the road or anywhere near the road or in society at extreme risk because, again, those numbers are staggering. So don't drink and drive. If you drive sober or get pulled over, that's the campaign. We all agree with this, correct?
Yes.
100%.
All right, now comes the important part. For more information about the Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign, and if I laugh during this, it's in no way trying to diminish the seriousness of the subject matter. It is,
I would say public service, you should say, get out a pen and paper.
Get out pen and paper, maybe pull up your web browser and be at attention, okay?
Yes.
Here we go. www. And we're just getting started here. You won't believe it.
I'm watching Trent the whole time because he has not heard the whole thing
I think
yet.
so far you're 3 for 3 on letters.
Yeah. Dot trafficsafetymarketing.gov. This is when it gets crazy.
This is where it picks up
Again.
steam.
You're killing it.
Slash get dash materials
Okay.
slash.
Yeah.
We're not even close yet. We're like a third of the way through it.
Really?
Oh
Yeah.
Slash
Incredible.
drunk dash driving slash national dash mobilization
Okay.
slash
Okay.
Feels
Peak.
impossible.
peak dash informants dash kit. That's it.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's the URL.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, again, just go to that quick link and check out all the information. Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign. Great work by the U.S. Department of Transportation's National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Doing great work. Just don't drink and drive. Be smart. And go to that, that really quick link when you get the chance. Hopefully you had a pen and paper or maybe a translator or somebody to kind of write that whole thing down. Golf. So obviously Monday finish, Liberty National. Quick thing I would like to bring up before we forget is we recorded our last show before we witnessed the madness that I'm about to discuss. But we had Wyndham Clark and Scotty Scheffler on, who are phenomenal guests. So last 3 shows we've had big time guests: Pat Perez, Kevin Kisner, Scotty Scheffler, Wyndham Clark. The Pro-Am scene at a professional golf tournament is the greatest scene of just accepted chaos and danger that I believe myself, Trent, and Jake Bass have ever witnessed in our fucking lives. There were golf balls screaming offline, low, hard hooks that were missing the faces of completely unaware spectators.
Dude.
All over the golf course.
Dude, there was a guy, just an innocent man standing. So we were in like our booth where we were at Liberty National. So we're watching the 18th hole. And there was a guy closer to the green, just standing there, watching the people on the green, watching people putt. And there was some guy just off to the left in the rough where no one could really see him. And he hit a low screaming hook, like Riggs is saying. And it got so close to the innocent man that afterwards he was like, I felt it on my ear.
Oh, man.
You could see him touching his ear. I've never seen a golf ball get so close to something and not hit it. And it was a person's face.
And it was a missile. This ball had to be going 150 miles an hour.
Oh,
if it would have struck this man's face 6 inches to the left of where it went by him, he would undoubtedly be eliminated from this here planet Earth. It wouldn't even have been a question. And we witnessed the whole thing because nobody knew this guy was hitting. This guy's like behind the grandstand. He's aiming 50 yards right of where the ball ended up going. This other spectator's like, look at the Statue of Liberty. His head's poking up in the sky. And his ball just went right by his face. And then we just saw this happen You could write a Quentin Tarantino movie about this with just like people's heads exploding and golf balls. They were flying into our hospitality tent that we were at, and it was utter chaos. And this just goes on all over the property, 18 holes every Wednesday, like it's normal. It was unbelievable.
And I think we saw Bubba, we saw Max Homa. They are just strolling down the middle of the fairway, just watching bodies drop, watching people hitting from everywhere, and they're just driver, iron, wedge, get out of there. They must witness the craziest shit over the course of their careers playing in these pro-ams. It's insane. And I also get too where it was madness, but I couldn't take my eyes away from it.
Right.
And that's also partially why our YouTube page is so popular, because we are also hitting the ball all over the map, and it's not good golf, but there's a part of it that is very, very entertaining because you just don't know where these balls are going. Ever.
Right. People stop to watch a car crash. You know what I mean? Even if it's on the other side of the road, people are interested. And
it was kind of exciting.
I'm sure, because you don't know what's going to happen. In regular watching a tournament, it's it's down the middle, left rough, right rough. It's this ball could go anywhere. You say, I've got a 2-way miss. He's got a 35 miss. He could hit a low left.
You're right, because the backdrop is Liberty National. It's the Northern Trust. So we're all used to seeing the professional golfers, and then here come these guys just ready to kill, ready to murder people. It's amazing.
They're swinging fast and loose, and the ball could go anywhere. And there are just thousands of spectators standing around that are completely unaware of from where these foreign objects are coming from, to the point where the main incident that shook all of us to our core that we just described happens right in front of us on 18. And we are Like, we can't believe it. For 10 minutes, we're like, I'm still shaking. Like, this is that we should have just witnessed a death. Like, that guy should be dead right now. I can't believe he's still standing and just speaking with his friends. He should be gone from head trauma from a golf ball from an innocent man over in the left rough. That is just, we're allowing this to occur. And then I walk around to the other side of the hospitality tent to let up a few buddies. Just, again, my head's in the clouds. I'm not thinking about it because this never happens at a pro golf tournament. The first tee is right there, and where I'm allowing my people to go up the stairs is like 150 yards from the first tee on the left. And right when I turn the corner and I meet my buddies, we just hear Fore, and my buddy ducks, and the ball goes flying right past my shoulder into
Like,
the railing. And we just found the ball was just sitting up there. It hit the railing, and the security guard up there was like, yeah, that just went past your shoulder and in between you and me. And this was all in the span of 5 or 10 minutes of each other. And this just occurs, again, from 7 a.m. until 5 p.m. every Wednesday on the PGA Tour.
It's amazing.
It was complete chaos.
It's amazing that tour players aren't catching injuries being out here every single Wednesday having to deal with this.
It is amazing. And I'm surprised more people don't get hit.
Making it sound like 1917 out there.
Dude, it really was. Maybe we just like got caught in this bubble, and maybe Liberty is set up that it's like this, but it just felt like this is something that happens on a very regular basis.
And I feel like they probably don't, market or put a ton of publicity around these types of injuries or occurrences. So I would like to hear from the folks out there. I know our crowd, our listeners out there have clearly been to pro-ams, spectators, played in them, whatever. This has to, from what we saw in a 2-hour window, there have to be plenty of severe and horrific injuries at pro-ams, because it's just a numbers game. Like, these balls are flying all over the place. We couldn't believe that they were continuing to operate the pro-am with the things that we were seeing.
We should start asking tour pros what they've seen, because they've seen it all. I'm sure. I mean, they're right there. They're in the middle of the fairway watching all of this take place in front of them. So I bet they've got some horror stories.
They have to.
They tee them forward, though, right? They're not at the same back tees in Never Never Land. Like, they tee everybody forward.
They tee him forward, but Lurch, you wouldn't, like, the ball flights weren't even close. Like, you wouldn't be able to imagine. It's not like they were hitting a high draw that came off a little low. It was like the ball never had a chance.
Bad shots. Right. No, I've seen some bad ones, but the tee that I'm envisioning would just be an absolute kill zone, because you can't. Is the par 3 the 13th? I think. What's that? Or is it the 14th out there? 14. So 15 from the tips that tee box is in Never Never Land, like way back there. So I was envisioning that tee box of just. I mean, that's a crime center if they're letting the public tee off from back there, because that ball's going everywhere.
Dude, the other thing, like on the 18th hole, there's people standing all around the green, and they're looking around because the scenery's amazing. You're looking at the harbor, and then you got like fucking Susie from accounting has like a hybrid in her hand from 80 yards out and just lines one left, and it's just Fore, and everybody. Like, that just happened. And then another group comes through 10 minutes later, and they're just doing the same.
Dude, it was nonstop.
The one person I'm picturing, we were at South Shore Country Club. My brother never plays golf, and I'm just picturing if he was in this scene. Hits an unreal drive out there in the middle. So, like, if you were standing around the green, you're like, oh, he's probably pretty good. Next one's coming up there. He hoselled a wedge so far and fast that it like just cleared like the top ridge, hit the country club, the house, and came back onto the green. But it was, I mean, if anybody's close, it's just there's a crime scene. I mean, somebody's dead. So I'm just picturing that level of golfer, especially when you're kind of just like looking around. Life's good, Statue of Liberty, nice day, storm might be coming in this weekend, just enjoying it all. And then you've got small bullets. We were talking about like the early 1800s. You've got a round bullet that can just absolutely kill you.
I'd also like to say that if you put me in this situation, I'm probably going to maybe kill somebody too.
Easily.
Totally.
Because I'm extremely nervous that there's people around, and then that's going to make me hit the ball like shit, and I'm going to almost kill somebody. So we're not shitting on these people. We're just saying that it's amazing to watch, and it's amazing that this happens every single week.
Yeah. When I feel pressure, I'm going to a trap draw that just flies miles left. and just kill somebody.
Right.
And they're like, the people, there's no order to it. Like, there's no announcement that this person's getting ready to hit. There's no, you're kind of looking for who's that PGA Tour pro, and they're usually lingering behind. So when these clowns that just are like so happy to take an invite to the pro-am are hitting, most of the fans don't even know that they're hitting. So there's no awareness level. You even know you're supposed to be aware. And then it's just, and their ball just could carry them off a grandstand. Or it
got
was
so close
amazing.
to the one guy that we keep talking about that my brain like made it happen in my head. Like I'd seen the ball hit him in the head. I'm glad it didn't, but it got so close that my brain already started envisioning the guy on the ground with medical crews around him. Like took our breath away. It legitimately took my breath away.
We were shooken. We were shaken. We were rattled. We, like, for a 5-minute period, we were not joking. Like, we wanted to call the authorities. Like, you have to stop. Like, what is happening out here? Like, there's public safety is at an extreme risk, and you guys are just letting it happen, and you're not seeing what we're seeing. Like, it's very
Imagine
dangerous.
that 911 call. You call him up, and you're like, I'm out at the golf course. There's something going on. Like, you guys got to come out here and start arresting people because otherwise people are going to die. And they're like, where are you? We're like, Liberty National Pro-Am.
Every 10 minutes, there's an 18 to 36 handicap that's just launching a ball in oblivion. And you should arrest each one of these people because it's a crime.
It seemed like it was a massive public safety hazard that we were witnessing, and everyone was just okay with it. And it was unbelievable.
I can't imagine playing in those things.
No.
Holy shit.
Right,
What'd you say,
everybody's
Frank?
nervous.
So I just can't imagine playing in those things because I know, like, I'm thinking back to just like my last round of golf, how many people I would have taken out. A couple of like low duck hook drives that I just missed the ball, and everyone like on the tee goes, "Ooh, like that's a death."
Yeah.
That
Instant-
actually should be a waiver form. If you have the low left miss, you can't play in the pro-am because
No.
that's the kill. It's not so much the high push right, like that's going to hurt, but you get that low left miss going, you shouldn't be allowed to
Right.
play.
Somebody's going to catch that, and the ball is still going to be picking up speed when they catch it. That's bad. And that's what you have, Frankie.
Yeah.
Like, if you do that when you hit it that way, it's screaming.
Frankie just gave like the nervous like neck crack, just like, "Ooh, I don't want to be in that seat."
Because I'm picturing the exact drive I had at Rockville like 2 weeks ago, and I just fucking lifted my head and kind of just came around a ball, and it went sizzling short right. Sizzling. And everyone on the tee went, "Whoa!" And like, just picturing some just fucking dad and his son there, just
Got a
standing there,
bag full of merch.
just fucking right in his gut. Boom.
You know that
best
old
case.
golf clip? You know that old golf clip that gets shared? Sometimes we should put that in where like guy hits it low left, hits somebody, re-tees, hits another person over there, and then somebody from the fans just says, "Send him home," and it's just an all-time clip.
It's dangerous out there, man. Golf balls are dangerous.
Oof, unforgiving.
Look, again, just we would like to alert the general golf community that if you ever attend or near a pro-am, be prepared, man, because it is dangerous living out there, and we're happy that nobody got hurt. Bryson, it was announced just now today that he's going to play in the World Long Drive contest. I think the big takeaway for a lot of folks is that it's the Monday after the Ryder Cup. Now, to compete in a World Long Drive, it's a different game than the PGA Tour. You use a longer driver, and they use like 48-inch drivers versus like 46-inch drivers. And you're gearing up to hit, I think, 1 out of 8 balls in play and hit it as far as humanly possible. The natural concern is that Bryson, instead of caring about winning a Ryder Cup and focusing all of his attention on that he's going to be gearing up his game for the day after the Ryder Cup to hit drives as far as humanly possible in the World Long Drive contest. I don't know that we need to spend a ton of time on it. Another weird thing to come out from Bryson DeChambeau, clearly getting some more negative attention because of this. That's pretty much all I got on it.
I would say of all of the things that Bryson has gone through or brought upon himself in this calendar year, however long it's been since he's been this headline machine. I'm the least amount bothered by this one. I don't think, I think saying that he might be more worried about the World Long Drive than the Ryder Cup, that feels like a stretch to me.
Huge stretch. It's like the people
You
that
don't
get
think
mad
it's
at.
different? You don't think gearing up for a world long drive is?
How do you know he's gearing up for it though, or is he just like attending it and like playing in it? Like, do we really?
Does he ever
know
just like attend and play? I think he shows like that's what he does all day long in that crazy lab that Como has.
But can't you say the same thing for him and his attention, or like him wanting to get prepared for the Ryder Cup then also?
I would say he has been gearing up for the World Long Drive contest since he decided to do this. Like, I don't think this is going to change the preparation. I get that the drivers are a little different and the atmosphere is a little different, but like he could walk onto a World Long Drive contest today and it'd be pretty similar to what he's been doing.
I don't know that that's true. I think that what they do is very different. Like there is an element to what he does where he has to hit it pretty straight. The World Long Drive guys, like, they don't give a fuck about that. They just got to get like one out of 8 pretty much straight. So they're just trying to hit it as far as humanly possible. I guess my point would be, me as a United States Ryder Cup fan for now, and knowing that we are 2-7 over the last fucking 9, and that we have all these issues, these team issues, these chemistry issues. Do our guys care about it like Europe cares about it? I don't want even 1% of his attention to possibly be in the weeks leading up to the Ryder Cup on like something that could be different than the Ryder Cup that affects your golf game. Like if it was a home run derby where it's a different swing, a different sport, fine. But like, I think gearing up for something that is different than playing competitive golf, that I think will change your swing in your game to some degree, is just not what I want to hear as a fan.
What about the fans that get butthurt that like Aaron Judge and all these guys, like they participate in the home run derby mid-season, like during like legitimate big baseball races, like their team's in the middle of a race in the AL East.
I totally get that. I think I would agree
that's
with
the same argument Riggs is making.
Yeah,
like,
I think that's so soft though. It's like it's their sport, man. This guy can just go play in this event. Like, he's the fucking long drive guy. Like, this is who Bryson is.
Also, I'd be far more concerned if he were doing this the week before the Ryder Cup.
Same.
Then he's trying to change it. Like, if you're saying that he does change his swing and changes a lot of things, then I'm worried that he's changing something before the Ryder Cup takes place, and if he gets to Whistling Straits and he's all over the map, it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have been hitting it super far at the World Long Drive. After, I'm less concerned about.
But it's the day after. Like, there's competition the day after. So if he's gearing up for it, he will be gearing up for it in the run-up to the Ryder Cup.
I guess I would also say that my expectation for what I think Bryson is going to do is pretty low. Like, I'm not surprised that he has decided to do this. Like, it doesn't make me upset at him because this is kind of what Bryson does.
So I actually like this move for Bryson. Like, this is what he should be doing. He's like feeding into like his new character. He's going to do things that PGA Tour pros haven't done. He's like breaking the barrier into this big macho man long drive competition. He's doing exactly what everyone has written in group chats with their buddies about. He's doing like a foreplay thing right now. Like, could Bryson go beat the long drive champions? Could he hit the longest drive on the planet if he uses their driver? Like, this is a really cool thing for us to see.
It is objectively funny that he's doing it.
Very funny. I get that very Bryson.
The timing probably isn't great for optics.
It's just the timing that I hate.
For sure.
I hate the timing.
For sure.
Well, if his preparation of the long drive outweighs his preparation for Whistling Straits in the Ryder Cup, then it's a nightmare. But I don't think that could possibly take place. So, like, I've got no problem with him doing this, and I kind of love it and all of his training and all his craziness. But
I'm saying even if any of it does, like even if a percentage of it does, then our guy is not focusing, and we have a history of not doing what we need to do to win Ryder Cup. So now we're adding to that of like, I don't want anything on his mind other than like, all I want to do is win the Ryder Cup. That's it. And instead, I think we're going to see Instagrams from him like the weeks leading up to the Ryder Cup of him being like, can't wait for the World Long Drive. So no, I want you to only not be able to wait for the Ryder Cup. That's it.
I guarantee the way that you feel is how the Team USA locker room feels, no doubt. They're probably like, why is this guy doing this? But as a person, as just like a fan who watches Bryson DeChambeau and gets entertainment out of him being a little crazy and a little like aloof, it should be. I find it very interesting.
If it were, I guess, Frankie, like if it were the World Series and like the home run derby was on like Monday after the World Series and like, you know, right in after game 2 before game 3, you're seeing like Aaron Judge posted stuff about how jacked up he is for like the home run derby. You'd be like, I want every part of your existence focused on winning the World Series. That's it.
Yeah, I see. Like, that part it's up for debate. Like, if he's gonna do that, I agree. Like, if he starts doing that, that's a whole nother conversation. But just committing to this, I don't think he should be getting backlash yet. Like, saying that you're showing up to this Monday event, to me, is like, I don't know. These guys show up to events all the time, like the day after these tournaments and stuff. Like, I don't know that he should be getting all the flack just yet. If he does on Thursday or Friday of the fucking Ryder Cup, start talking about this event he has on Monday, it's going to be a problem. That will be a new podcast segment in which we all start ripping on Bryson DeChambeau, being like, hey, buddy, we're not winning the Ryder Cup right now. You're worrying about hitting drives into another orbit. Let's do this first.
I'm going to keep a tally. I'm going to keep an Insta story tally. I'm going to keep a tweet tally.
That's fair.
On which way he goes. How many gets more, World Long Drive or Ryder Cup?
I think that's fair. I don't think he deserves backlash. I agree with that. I think it's just concerning. I'm putting it on my radar as a concern, another concern going into the Ryder Cup.
You also caught me on a bad day because we just saw Bryson today, and like he made me kind of giggle because he has his head like completely shaven where you can't see anything under his hat, and he's got that crazy scally cap hat thing again, and well, like he always does. But like the way he was walking today, eating a banana, walked right by us. You just looked at him, you're like, look at this fucking lunatic. Like, his head was bulging out of his hat. Like, he had, like, veins underneath his hat. He was, like, chewing on the fucking banana, like, blinking a million times, walking by all the other golfers. Like, the guy's a menace, and I love him, and I fucking hate him all at the same time. I wanted to bully him mentally. Like, I wanted to just, like, yell things at him and make him upset. But then I also wanted to hug him and, like, dap him up. It's like he just always gets me fucking going. I don't know where I land on Bryson. I just don't.
If I got you on a really hate-filled Bryson day, you'd be Team Riggs right now, big time.
Yeah, no, I'm going to stand by, like, I think it's going to be really cool to watch him in the long drive. That's why. When you said that, you were like, that was breaking news to me. I didn't even know he was doing that. So I actually really thought that was a good move for him in his career, to be honest.
I agree with that. I just don't like the timing. It just makes me concerned. Chalking it up in the concerned column. That's it.
Yeah, and when he puts up 5 Insta stories being like, "Ooh, I can't wait to hit this ball 500 yards."
What are we expecting? Do you think this guy's gonna fucking promote this long drive competition?
Yes, this guy's a fucking.
No,
this is why we don't like him. This is why people don't like him. He does that kind of shit. Like
if he does, I'll go crazy.
If Stricker like sits him for the Saturday afternoon session, I could see him posting Instagram in the afternoon, being like gearing up for Monday's long drive, like on the fucking range. And it's that again. It's a concern. It's not. I don't think he deserves backlash. I'm not going to tweet anything at him right now, but it's a concern. I'm chalking it up for.
All right, we've got Riggs marked down as concerned, which I think is fair.
Very fair.
BlueNile.com is the original online jeweler. Since 1999, they have helped millions of couples create their perfect engagement ring. Frankie has told an iconic story on the show many times about his father being in a situation with a jeweler where, you know, you can't trust them. They weren't on your side. They were perhaps engaging in some shady business. Blue Nile is different from these competitors. They don't mark up to mark down, meaning BlueNile.com's everyday prices are competitive to other online retailers' sale prices. Whether you're customizing an engagement ring or designing diamond stud earrings at BlueNile.com, you are in control. You could build a more brilliant piece at a price you will not find at a traditional jeweler. Mark the moments that matter with jewelry from BlueNile.com. And Foreplay podcast listeners get $50 off of a $500 order. This podcast exclusive offer includes engagement rings. So again, if you're in the mood, it's that type of year. Maybe you got the holiday season coming up and you want to be prepared. This podcast exclusive includes engagement rings. Use the code Foreplay, Foreplay, one word, That's the code Foreplay. Plus, every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that will not give away what is inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever peace. Go to BlueNile.com today. Use the code Foreplay. You get $50 off $500. So use the code Foreplay, BlueNile.com.
Christmas 4 months away. Everybody
Big
ready?
Christmas here for us.
Smokes.
Right. We just gotta. Made a promise on this podcast that we are
December 1st.
December 1st. We're going full bore.
Tree.
Enough? Is that enough
I'm
time?
gonna get it.
25 days of Christmas.
Is it?
You wanna do
You
more?
can't cut off Thanksgiving.
Is it weird to go in November to be an all-in on Christmas?
Is
All
it
right,
the day after Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
We roll right into it.
Yeah.
Do a tumble salt right into
We
Christmas
won't cut
time?
out. We won't cut out Thanksgiving. I agree with that.
Okay.
But I think right afterwards, and when the clock strikes midnight, we're Christmas mode.
Yeah, I
So-
agree with that.
I
Thanksgiving
can't do it
Day.
until December 1st.
Thanksgiving Day is November 25th this year. So we will have one full month of all in on Christmas.
Yeah, dude, I'm in on that.
All right, let me put that in the calendar right now. Foreplay Christmas.
I'm also
begin.
I'm a human being that gets to make my own decisions. I'm gonna go take a piss.
Okay.
There's really nothing anyone can do to stop me. I was like thinking about not going, and I have to go so bad that I think I'm gonna fucking
Right. You're not
puke.
in school anymore where you
No.
have to raise your hand and ask.
It like hit me. I'm like, I can just get up.
Yeah.
And I'm
Think
gonna.
about
can
how
handle it.
weird it is that we have historically chosen not to do that on this show. Like it's
It's-
some sort of professional obligation that
All
we
right.
have
And
to.
it's not going to take you that long. You'll be back in no time. We'll hold down the fort. Enjoy.
Peeing is very, very quick. Is what it. You know, I had. How do you guys feel about being the window seat? What degree of I have to pissness do you have to reach where you will alert, interrupt, and inconvenience the other two folks to get up and you have to get out and pee on a plane?
For me personally, it has to be an emergency. Just because, unless I'm just not usually on a plane for that long. Most flight durations, I can hold my piss the whole time. But if it's a cross-country flight, that's a little different. But for the most part, 2, 3, 4 hours, I'm pretty good at holding it. So it's got to be a pretty dire situation, and I would hope that the public at large would also feel that way. Like I don't want somebody who's getting up all the time. They have one bottle of water, and then they're up, and then they're down, and then they're up again after another bottle of water. I'd like to hope that people would hold it for a decent amount of time.
I had a aisle seat the other day, maybe a week ago or so. I was flying, and the guy on the window, I could tell about an hour into the flight. It was about a 2.5 hour flight. About an hour into the flight, he started to really look around. He started to kind of give off the vibe of like feeling out the situation. Maybe 10 minutes later, he tapped me and just gave me the thing, and I got up, and he did the whole spiel. Well, fucking an hour later, the guy starts to do it again. And I'm like, this isn't we're not flying to fucking Dubai here. Like, it was a 2.5 hour flight. He went again. The guy went twice in one flight. And again, it was uncomfortable because he's doing the whole kind of looking at me and seeing if I'll make eye contact with him. And he gave me the whole thing. And so then I'm finally like, if you're going to fucking do this, like, let's do this. Now you're making me uncomfortable. I feel like I'm like ruining his day. But he's kind of, you can't, 2 is preposterous in one flight. Preposterous.
Yeah, and I guess there are people who have a condition. Doesn't Tommy Smokes have a condition where he's got to piss every 10 minutes when he goes on a long car ride?
Yeah, he has a urine problem. Like he can't hold his urine.
Right, so what we're saying, we're still talking about it, even though
Okay.
you're now gone and back, because it doesn't take that long.
Yeah.
We're talking about on flights when you have an aisle seat or when you have a window seat, how often are you going to take a
You
piss?
got to be able to hold it.
Yeah,
It
that's what we're
comes
saying.
with the purchase of a window seat that you
Exactly.
are a piss holder.
And my question, Frankie, was what level on a 1 to 10, 10 being my urine is coming out of my wiener right now, 1 to 10 scale, like what number do you have to reach that you will inconvenience the other two and be like, I gotta get out?
Yeah, it's like a 8 or a 9.
Yep.
It's as high as it can get before it's a real problem. And depending on the flight, the length of the flight, like even if I'm at an 8, if I know I have 25, 30 minutes left, I can maybe hold it in and just pain it out. But there's nothing worse than a multiple getter-upper. It's like, dude, what were you thinking when you bought that fucking ticket?
I gave him dirty looks the rest of the flight. I looked at him the whole time like, fuck you. I'm mad. I am officially mad at you, and I want you to know for the rest
We
of
could
the
just
flight.
switch seats, and you can get up free and easy, and I can sleep. Like, why are you sitting there and I'm sitting here? You
I
clearly
gotta get up
need to
four
get up.
times. 4 times I have to get up.
Exactly.
So I always sit window because it's the only way that I could potentially get comfortable. So I always sit window, and I never get up. However, if I do get up, I try to do it at the same time my center and then aisle seats get up. So if I see them going to take a pee, that's a good time to get up
Yeah.
and do
It's a
it
team
with
effort.
them and work together. Yeah. But I think, and maybe you guys are wrong on this, but I think the window is the most comfortable seat because you can kind of lob your body
It
against
is.
the wall, but you are subjected to the fact that you're kind of locked in that seat. And I certainly would never wake somebody up napping unless I was going to pee my pants of, hey, it's time to go. And I've
I've never woken somebody up, and I
No.
never will.
that's you've gone too far.
That's like a criminal. That's a felony. If you wake somebody up, that's sleeping on an airplane.
Can't.
Should be.
Can't do that.
Yeah, you
How
can't
about-
do that.
Dude, I fucking saw one of the flight attendants in the last month, one of the flights I was on, woke somebody up to ask them if they wanted a drink.
I have seen that.
That's crazy.
I have seen.
That's
I've actually seen
arrestable.
that.
Person.
I've actually seen that pretty consistently.
Person was like, "What the fuck are we doing here?" Like that is a unwritten. I'm asleep. I'm off comms right now. I'm forever. Don't like this is a cherished activity that I've engaged in where I've fallen asleep on a flight. You can't interrupt that. I don't care if the plane's going down. Don't wake me up. Like just
Definitely
no matter
don't
what.
wake me up.
Yeah, just leave me be, man.
I guess if you want to play devil's advocate, you could say that if you don't wake that person up and the drinks fly right by them, then they wake up and they're mad that they didn't get something to drink. But you can wave them down and be like, I would like Coca-Cola or whatever.
You're just an advocate of the devil today, aren't you?
Well, I like to give people the other side of
Yeah.
it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
just because I feel like people are probably saying that because if you're sleeping and the drink goes by, how do you feel?
Why are you sleeping then? I mean, you can't possibly wake up and be like, I missed it. It's like, yeah, you were fucking sleeping.
And you could also just wave them down and be
Exactly.
like, I want a ginger ale.
Yeah.
I agree. They shouldn't be waking that up, but I do see people get woken up a lot for drinks.
I couldn't believe it. The person was not happy. Then they couldn't sleep the whole rest of the time. They're doing the head fucking thing, and they're like uncomfortable. And yeah, the flight attendant just ruined it for him. But I thought it was societally we were all on the same page. If you're asleep, you are out on the drink delivery portion of the flight. You've removed your name from the eligibility of a drink from Delta Airlines.
Agreed.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. We got the tournaments occurring. We're trying to record. We've been all over the map. We got travel and all kinds of stuff. Recording. We have a developing situation where Tony Finau is in second place.
Oh, boy.
Whoa.
John Rahm is leading the tournament, which I don't think is surprising anyone. He's the best player on planet Earth.
Where's Cam Smith?
Cam Smith is in second, too. It looks like Cam Smith just made a birdie to go one ahead of Tony Finau. So Tony Finau's tied for third. They're about at the turn. We're just monitoring the fact that Mr. Finau is the most notorious runner-up, player without a win ever, alongside really his friend Louis Oosthuizen. We got the two of them are just racking up runner-up, so it's something to monitor.
My prediction, and people will know the answer to this by the time this podcast comes out, I think John Rahm is just going to win this thing.
Yep. We were actually on the grounds today, Trent and I and Jake, and I tried to do a little thing where I tried to lure John Rahm, the number one golfer on the planet,
This was actually very good.
over to us today. So our friend Pat Perez was putting around. He looked like he was on an island today. Everyone had their teams and their coaches, and they're all putting with them, and he's just putting to holes like as if he was at the local municipal golf course, just putting to holes through people, around people, like kind of just with no plan. It almost looked like. And
we should say that the overall mood with the Monday finish is I think we
Weird.
called mopey, and it's just different. I know that the players they want to be there because it's an important tournament, but they didn't schedule in that they were going to be there till Monday and maybe Tuesday, depending on how much rain hits.
It's like such a regimented schedule on the PGA Tour. When you add that extra day, that Monday, I don't think they want to be on the golf course.
Right.
But
No chance.
So
I did see some positive tweets, though, people being like, there's worse places to be than New York City. But you think from being there, the vibe was like,
Well,
no
I
thanks.
think
was like really muggy. It was cloudy. They didn't know if it was going to rain again. Like it got pushed back 3 hours today. They were supposed to tee off maybe even
4
more.
hours.
They were supposed to tee off at 7:30. They ended up teeing off at 11:30. So
It's a mess.
It just
was
drags.
like
It's a long stay. It's like, yeah.
we saw Justin Thomas like putting on new shoes.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
took his like socks off in front of us. It was like a whole weird it was a weird vibe. And anyway, Pat Perez is putting in front of us, and I see John Rahm walking towards the putting green. We've never had any contact with John Rahm before. So I said, oh, man, this is my moment right now to lure this guy in. You know he's going to say what's up to Pat Perez. So I yelled out to Pat Perez, Pat, what's up? And he sees us. I'm like, oh, my God, it's working. Pat looks up like he's about to walk over to us. I think maybe if Pat walks over to us and then John Rahm walks by Pat, he stops right in front of us. They have a conversation. He goes, oh, yeah, I'm just talking to foreplay guys. Bam, it happens. But John Rahm, that fucking guy, was just too quick. He got to Pat Perez before he – so basically Rahm got to Pat, said what's up, patted him on the ass, and then kept walking. Then Pat made his stroll over to us. I was just a second too late. It almost worked, though. Like, that's the stuff that we try and do on these ranges. That's how we got to try and get
Right.
it.
Work the range.
It did not work, but it was incredibly forward-thinking.
Oh, yeah.
To try to have that chain of events happen. It didn't work, but we were close.
Speaking of chain of events, I should notify the listeners. We have Lurch is being kicked out of his hotel room live on the podcast right now.
Wow.
Lurch, what's happening?
Yeah, so basically, through my status, I have a 4 p.m. exit. And I told him, I was like, hey,
That's a late
anyway,
checkout. That's a late checkout.
Yeah, it's great. But I was like, I really, 5 p.m. would be way better. And I guess they said okay at the booth. And then they just came up to me and said no. So they just knocked on my door. I said, no thanks. Well, I'm staying till 5. And then they've come back and said, nope, 4 p.m. is it. So I've been notified that.
Well, I got to say, I think it's very difficult to turn around a hotel room after 4 o'clock. So
It is, but I'm a titanium elite member,
Oh,
so I get.
Are we able to kick him off, or does he have to leave on his own?
Excuse me, I
It's a
apologize.
great question, Frank.
God,
But
I
so-
just hate those. I hate those
Yep.
announcements when people are boarding the flight.
We'd like to thank
with,
all of
like,
our titanium elite status.
with the triple platinum, carat gold, diamond studded members. Please board the plane
If
now. It's
you're
like
boarding-
I get it. I'm a piece of shit. I'm in section 7. Like I'm in group 7. I have no worth to you.
If you're boarding with a wheelchair, you can board now. Or if you're a Platinum Elite Status Medallion member, you can also board.
It's like mine says Area 9. What is that? When do I get on? And they're like, shut up, and they spit on you as you walk.
Lurch
in.
is
dog
a
under you.
huge status guy, too.
Oh, I know.
Huge.
He's always asking how many miles do I get from this? Can I get
Huge, yeah.
upgraded in my hotel? It's like, just go, man. Just go.
So I was actually furious with United. So last week I was in LA, then Seattle for Friday. Took a red eye home to make a buddy's wedding up in Lake Winnipesaukee, and I was actually supposed to be back out in San Diego today. But in that red eye home, so I take overnight, land, our flight gets in late. And again, with my status, I was running to the plane. And as I turn the corner, I see gate C70, the plane headed to Boston, push back. Furious. So then I go to customer service. I'm like, hey, what's the next flight out? They say 11 a.m., which I'm like, okay, I was supposed to be on like an 8 o'clock flight, 11, okay, a couple hours, whatever. So I head to the United Lounge. Get there. At that point, you have to show kind of like your United entry and then also your boarding pass. I look at that, and my flight's been delayed till 3 p.m. I didn't get a notification or whatever, so the customer service rep just put me on a 3 p.m. flight. I would go back to her. I go, what? I mean, what were we thinking? With it just like that? I
Did you
wasn't
know
going to care. I was
my
gonna-
status?
Yeah, I'm a double
Did you check
titanium
my
member.
status when you did this?
So
If
then,
you
I
don't
mean,
have
You know
enough
my
status,
dad is
I
a
just
lawyer.
pulled my bag and I drove up to New Hampshire.
Like, all right, so you're saying that you saw that plane backing out, right? And you're like, oh, I'm
Yes.
fucked. If you don't have enough status, whether they're gonna bring that fucking plane back, then your status doesn't mean shit.
I agree with you. And
I thought that was
100%
going to be
agree.
I thought that was going to be the finale of the thing.
They're like,
No,
oh,
finale
we got to
was
go
I'm a
back. We
peasant
forgot
like
it.
you.
We forgot the triple titanium member. We got to pull this thing back in. Instead, you got fucked.
Instead, you have to drive. That's what your status does for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sucks.
What
That was
what kind of
tired.
rental car status you got? Pretty high?
Nothing good.
Yeah,
I
that's
saw
tough.
some guy at the Yankee game the other day. I said, man, this guy fucking reminds me of Lurch.
You love it?
Why?
He just reminded me of you. He's like a big body, getting drinks for everyone. He was just like annoying as shit right in front of me.
Sounds terrible.
Just
Sounds
like he was
awful.
right in front of
Just
us.
his
Like
big
he's like
body
he
getting
was
drinks
just
for everybody.
just like he's like the only guy who knew how to talk to everyone in the section. He was like, can you believe this game? Looking at me like, look at what a day for a ball game. I'm like, bro, get the fuck out of my face right now. I was like, I looked over who I was at. I was like, this guy reminds me of fucking Lurch right now. Status and fucking medallion members. This guy was a medallion guy. He was in the Legends suite.
Oh yeah.
TaylorMade Golf. Before we throw it to Patrick Peterson, we're gonna discuss TaylorMade Golf. You go to barstoolsports.com/TaylorMade. We're all TaylorMade athletes on this show. It's led to Trent career round. It's led to a couple of us lowest handicaps we've ever had, and then there's Frankie, who we're still working on. But
Well, hold on now. Your score at Rockville that time, that was really low.
Recently?
No.
Oh no.
No, I'm talking. I mean, this was months
You were
ago
like
now.
76. Was it lower?
okay.
I think it was a little bit
That's
lower
great.
than that. I'm,
74?
Yeah, I think it was 74.
Yeah, it wasn't 74.
You played
Really
well.
We don't
good.
talk about it though because it wasn't filmed every shot, but it was. We updated it on Instagram.
it's fantastic.
We do. It's just people are fucking. They're nasty on Twitter
I'm
and
sorry,
Instagram.
I didn't.
you know?
I
don't like.
shouldn't-
That's something between me and you. That was like a
I thought
low
we
round.
posted
You know?
about
I
it.
know we did, but people they don't fucking know.
All right, I'm sorry.
know?
But you did them with TaylorMade.
TaylorMade clubs, man. There's something.
You worried
They really
about
are.
the Instagrammers right now?
No, it's just like that round. I don't know. It's like that was between me and Trent. That was like that's a memory I have.
We
you know?
posted it on Instagram.
Yeah, we gave him a little sneak peek.
Okay.
We let him see.
Instagram is very public. Anyway, TaylorMade.
You played great. There.
TaylorMade Golf.
Oh.
So the Sim 2 family, fantastic. It's cheat
Yep.
code. That's what we've been calling it. The driver Sim 2, Sim 2 Max. You get the fairway woods. 11 sound engineers, I think, is how many they employ to work on that puppy, and it
Yep.
works. It sounds, you cannot believe the sound. In fact, if you're going to post something on Instagram and you don't even have to hit a good one necessarily. It might go way left, way right. People won't ever know because the way it sounds, like you hit the best tee shot that has ever been hit. Their irons, P770s, P790s, are as good as they get. The Spider, it's pretty much impossible to hit it offline. So all TaylorMade products. The golf ball, they got the Tour Response, which is not quite as economically difficult to get as the TP5, TP5X, but that golf ball, which is what we all use, as good as it gets. So TaylorMade just gets it. They're the best equipment company on planet Earth. You go to barstoolsports.com/TaylorMade. Check out TaylorMade, Barstool Golf Gear we've got. We've done a bunch of co-branded stuff. So, again, go check out their social channels, too. They're doing giveaways. You can see for yourself the type of equipment that we're talking about. TaylorMade posts a bunch of good stuff that just kind of dials you in a little bit on what you're looking at, what your options are with TaylorMade. So go to barstoolsports.com/TaylorMade. Check out a lot of the TaylorMade at Barstool things that we have going on. Anybody have anything else before I throw this to one of the great defensive players in the last decade in the NFL?
Sorry to miss the people at Green Rock last week.
Yeah.
And in Hoboken, something came over me, on me. I almost fucking died. I don't know what happened. Got back on Wednesday. Practice with Dave Portnoy for the Dave versus Brooks match. Oh, by the way, I'd like to get your guys' takes on Dave. I mean, that was the first time we've seen him swing since the Mulligan Challenge out at was the last time we saw him was at Pebble Beach?
Pebble, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what'd you guys think? Because I'll say right off the rip, pleasantly surprised to see my guy just being able to swing a golf club freely, hitting balls right down the middle. His wedge game is...
That's what I was going to say. The wedge he hit on the hole that you guys live streamed was great.
Guys, I'm not kidding. I'm not just saying this because he's Dave and he's my boss and he's my guy and I'm Team Portnoy through and through since I was born. But this guy This guy has his wedges so dialed in to the point where we were 60 yards away, and he goes, what should I use? And I was like, all right, let's take this 58 degree and let's like choke down a little bit and let's just try and like punch this thing onto the green. Like a 60-yard shot to me, I mean, and I'm not the best person to be able to explain this, but like a 60-yard shot to me is something like you can almost throw it onto the green from there, right? Like this is a feel shot. This isn't anything where you're swinging full. And he goes, no, this is a full sandwich for me. And I was like, how's that? Like, what are you talking about? I don't even know what that means. He goes, watch. So I said, no, just hit it like 50%. He does. It goes nowhere. Next time he goes, he does this like really loose full swing 58 degree, and it lands pin high 65 degrees. I said, what? 65 yards. I said, what the fuck just happened? I threw another ball down at him. I said, do that again. Let's see how consistent that is. When I tell you guys on this one hole, and we didn't film, he hit 4 balls to 5 feet from 65 yards to 5 feet. 4 balls in a row. Me and Brendan Jones were laughing uncontrollably. I said, you have this so dialed in. I said, is everything now 10 yards from there? He has a 60 degree. We went to 55 yards. He hit it to like 5 feet. I mean, the guy does not miss wedges. I don't know what it is. Full swing wedges. They go nowhere, and they just land soft.
I feel better about his chances than I did before I saw the
Woo!
For sure.
Definitely. There's no doubt. I mean, the guy on a live stream
Made a par.
made par. Like, and his point was very clear of like, okay, if the guy's going to make a bunch of birdies, Brooks Koepka, then yeah, I'm going to lose. But otherwise, if I'm making pars and even bogeys, like, you're going to have yourself a match. So, yeah, I feel better about his chances since I saw that. How is his rapport with E-Bug?
His rapport was great. I mean, we only played like 8 or 7 holes or something like that at that point, because he just like, Dave's funny in the fact that he's like, why am I gonna practice on these greens if they're not the greens that we're playing on? And that stumped me. I didn't really know how to answer that, right? Like we would get up to the ball on the green, goes, well, I don't need to practice this. This has nothing to do with what the greens that we're going to be playing on. And I said, you're right. And we just pick up the ball. Meanwhile, like you want to practice the stroke a little bit. You want to get a feel for how long. And he goes, well, why would I get a feel for these greens? I'm like, I don't know.
It sounds to me like a guy that just didn't want to practice. That's
no,
what
it's not
like.
that. He was making pretty damn good points. But, his shoulders are his shoulders, and he just wants to be able to like he wants to be ready. This was the first time swinging in a year. We all know you don't want to wear yourself out on your first practice. So it was a great first practice. We have other ones in place. We're planning, and I was pleasantly surprised that this guy can hit this golf ball this well. I mean, when I tell you on hole 7, he hit a 295-yard drive right down the middle, baby fade, 295. Dude, our caddy who was with us, who was at East Hampton Golf Club, shout out East Hampton Golf Club. Holy smokes, is this place fucking phenomenal. I mean, you want to talk about the best clubhouse you've ever seen in your life? Best clubhouse I've ever seen in my life. The place it looked like Liberty National inside, but on the outside it was that classic Hamptons look, where everything was like shiplap shingles on the outside, like these big ass fucking.
What kind of shingles?
I called them shiplap.
I just never heard that before.
No.
Shiplap?
Shiplap was like on the inside. So Shiplap is Chip and Joanna. I'm really exposing myself right now. It's a HGTV couple, and they invented this thing called Shiplap. Yeah.
Producer Jake is showing me right now. I wasn't trying to expose you.
They didn't really invent it, but I think they used Shiplap.
I'd never heard of that before.
Yeah, I watched a lot of HGTV.
I apologize. They're going to escort me.
Get out of here. See you later.
All right.
Good. See you later.
See you, Arch. Great looking clubhouse.
Oh my God, great looking clubhouse. East Hampton Golf Club. They were very accommodating. Gave Dave the back range. He was able to just like work on some things, and then we went right out there with our caddy, and the caddy was amazing, and it was just a really good practice day. So, but Dave can hit the golf ball like. Right when we got to the range, he took a 7-iron out of the bag, and shout out to TaylorMade. That's why I brought this up. He has all TaylorMade clubs now. He's got the Sim 2 irons, which I was a little nervous about giving to him because I didn't know if he was going to get mad that he wasn't hitting like 790s or 770s or whatever. But he didn't say anything about them. They're perfectly cavity back. They're perfect for the type of golfer that he is. He plays once a year. He admits that. And man, he took the 7-iron, smoked a draw like 160 yard 7-iron, 170 yard 7-iron. It was nuts, man. We have some gaps in his clubs. Like his wedges don't go anywhere, but his irons go really far. It's amazing. Like he hits 175 yard 7-iron. like
Pretty fucking
170,
good.
175. So I'm starting to write them all down in my notes app for when we caddy, and I'm getting jacked up, man. He's the biggest thing for him is getting off the tee on his first try. Like there were a couple times where like we'd tee it up and we'd get like some of like the hooks or the pulls, and you'd be like, all right, like let's reset, like take the club straight back, like stop coming from the inside, and then he would crank one down the middle, and then once we're on the fairway, it's par or bogey golf. It really is. It's par or bogey golf once Dave's on the fairway. It's just about getting him off the tee. So like, do we then just go iron off the tee after the first couple of holes? Like we are gonna play this match to win. Dave is going to be in this match. Brooks is gonna have to make birdies, man. He's gonna have to. I don't know that he can, lefty. Trent, what do you think? I asked you guys originally what you guys think.
I want Dave Portnoy to win. I said for months now that there's just no way. I don't think he is close enough in terms of the fact he plays fucking once a year. And that Brooks Koepka is one of the best golfers in the world, even if he's playing on the other side of the ball. I think he's going to be able to just figure out how to get the ball in the hole significantly better than Dave, and that's it. This has, in my mind, dramatically changed, I think, Dave's odds. Just seeing that it wasn't a one-off when he showed up at the Mulligan Challenge a few years ago, and that like he could just come up, hit a golf ball for the first time in a year, and hit it pretty decently and make a par on a live stream. I think it's a bit closer than I thought, and that's encouraging. I want Dave to represent Barstool Sports and defeat Brooks Koepka.
Right, and I would also argue that live streamed hole, and I don't know how Dave feels going into the match. I have no idea, but I would imagine he even feels far more confident after the par on that hole, where he's like, "Oh, I can actually do this."
Big time.
Because before that, he hadn't played. He has no idea where his game's at. Doesn't know where he's going to hit the ball, if he's going to be able to keep it on the map, and then to par that one hole. For him to get more confidence makes me far more confident in him, because if he's confident, he can do anything. He can par, bogey, and I think that to a certain extent, to a certain degree, will be able to beat Brooks, at least give him a match. Because I think we all want this match to at least have some drama to the point where it just keeps going. It goes all the way to the end. And I think after watching him hit a few shots, I think he's got a far better chance than I think anyone realized.
Much better chance than anyone realized. Really excited for that. But anyway, so Wednesday I'm out in Montauk with him doing that. And you guys were out at the Pro-Am, so I missed all the missiles going by people's heads. And then I come back on Wednesday night, drove all the way back from Montauk with E-Bug. We stopped at Best Pizza in Montauk. Really good fucking pizza. I'm not going to say it's the best pizza because that's the name of the place, but fantastic pizza. This guy, Frank Pinello, I think is his last name, opened this place up. It's outrageously good pizza. If you're out in Montauk, you got to go to Best Pizza. So we're on our way back, and I'm starting to feel really fucking down and like tired, and I'm starting to feel like so just dragged out, and my neck is so in so much pain. My back is in so much pain. I can't even move. I could barely drive at this point. Drop E-Bug off at Borelli's. That's where we met. It was funny. He sent me a video. My dad, E-Bug met me at Borelli's, and my dad is just in the back, like putting together a fucking weed whacker or something, like laying on the concrete in 100-degree weather. And E-Bug sends me a video. He goes, "What does this man do all day? He just works all day long."
Guy does it all.
Oh, he does it all. He was putting together. He was like fucking threading the needle. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. So we end up going home, and I'm like, "Fuck, man, I do not feel good." Wake up the next morning, Thursday morning, the morning of the Green Rock watch party, whatever we guys were doing with Owen's Mixers.
Meet and greet.
I know, I hate calling it a meet
I know,
and
we
greet.
call it a watch party.
And I woke up with a 1% recovery in my whoop, and I felt as hot as ever. I'm like, I feel fucking horrible right now.
You woke up with a 1% and what? You slept for 10 hours?
10.5 hours of sleep, 1%
Yikes.
recovery on Thursday.
That's an impossible percentage to have with that much sleep unless you're sick.
So I'm like, all right, like COVID again or something happened. I'm John Rahming it right now. Just gonna get COVID. Like I'm going down. This is bad. And I wait an entire day. I sleep it off. I'm sleeping, drinking liquids. I'm not feeling any better. I'm sweating through my shirts. I'm like, guys, I can't come tonight. I'm sorry. Let people know. Like, I wish I could be there. Za was there. Fucking Large was there. Marty Mush was there. Was Large there?
Great crew.
Yeah,
there.
he was there for a little bit. Captain Cons was there for a little bit.
There was a fucking great crew. I missed it all. I was fucking pissed. But I'm like, I'm going to get one night's sleep, and I'm going to be fine by tomorrow. I wake up Friday morning, and I felt fucking kind of like shitty again. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Thursday I ended up getting tested is what happened.
Right, your mom drove you to.
I was so sick, guys, that my mom had to drive me to City MD. I was so disoriented on Thursday. I woke up with that 1% recovery. I'm like, guys, I'm fucking feeling like shit right now. My mom drives me 100.
I was telling people in passing at the watch party, they're like, "Oh yeah, where's Frankie?" I was like, "I went to the hospital," and then they're just like, "What?" And I just walked by. That was it.
Dude, 103.2 fever. They clocked me at City MD, and the guy was like, "Holy shit, you're hot." The other ear was like 102.9. I'm like, "What is happening to me right now?" Does a COVID test? Negative. Does a strep test? Negative. Gives me a PCR COVID test, so that I had to wait and see what that was. And he gives me an antibiotic, and I tell you guys, I went from a 1% recovery, and I don't know if this is a 1 in a billion recovery from 1. I went from 1 to 5. No, I went from 1 to 97 recovery between days.
Modern medicine.
I took antibiotic and a prednisone, whatever the fuck that is. It made me feel like shit. I'll tell you that. It made me like want to puke, the prednisone. But I went from a 1% whoop recovery to a 97% whoop recovery. I got a negative PCR COVID test. I'm fine. I didn't get it for the fucking third time or whatever it was. So I'm feeling good now. Now I'm back. But whatever was in me was death.
You said something very funny where when you were sweating through shirt after shirt after shirt, you said, "I think this is the last thing that happens. I think the body just throws water on itself and then you die." That's what you were in such bad shape that you were like, "I think my body."
It was a last defense.
It's the last defense, last resort. It just throws water on itself, aka sweats, or you die.
Dude, Wednesday night, I was so sweaty that I went through 4. I couldn't not wear a shirt because I was sweating through the bed. So I was getting shirts on and sweating through the shirts where you could actually wring out my shirt like I fell in a pond. That's how sweaty I was. I would go to take off the T-shirt and it wouldn't come off me. It was a last defense. I think it was like really just trying to cool me down.
And like you said too, if you're in the 1500s,
Dead.
you're just dead.
Dead. Modern medicine saved my life this week. It really did. But I wish I was
Isn't it
at Green
amazing
Rock.
that people out there are smart enough that they created something that they just put inside your body and it defeated whatever was eliminating you and fighting you?
Almost instantaneously.
When the doctor kind of eliminated that it was COVID, because he like looked at my throat and saw some like little white dots on it. He's like, "Oh, it could be a form of strep or something." He's like, that's when he knew. And after the test, obviously we knew. But he's like, now that we know that, he goes, "Getting you healthy will be absolutely no issue." And I was like, "I don't even know what that means." He goes, "I'm going to give you this pill and you're just going to be fine by tomorrow." And I swear I just was. Like the prednisone and the Z-Pack that he gave me, the combination, the next day I was perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. 97
Imagine being
recovery.
that confident in anything ever.
He like laughed it off. He goes, "Oh, getting you healthy is no issue tomorrow."
And you thought you were
like-
going to die.
Die, yeah.
You're like, you don't understand. I've been sweating through the floor of my room.
So that's a little update on my life.
That's
and
why you weren't at Green Rock.
That's why. I mean, I know people probably
Shout out to everybody
sick
that
of
came out. A
hearing
lot
it.
of people came out. A lot of people who drove a pretty good distance, and they were going to the tournament, but they were also like, "Hey, we're going to stop by and see the foreplay guys." It was cool. It's always cool to have a meetup like that.
Quite a few people drove, and I said, "Just for this?" They're like, yeah. It's like, why? what are you doing? But it was very fun. We had
How
a
was
great
the
time.
bar? You hear all about this bar all the time. Like Glenny Balls says, like it's his favorite place on earth.
It turned into a scene. It was great. It was fun. It was young. It was there's kind of a happy hour type crew that then
Pat Light there.
He was.
Pat Light was
I met
there.
him.
We were
Really nice
doing
guy.
some did a few drinks with him. He like takes you down to the basement, and it's kind of a tradition, I guess, with a lot of the Barstool people and him and kind of his staff to have like a quick drink and just kind of hang with him, which was cool. Hubs was there, hanging with Hubs quite a bit. Who's great. I hadn't seen a lot of these people because I moved away and just went to Scottsdale. So it was great to see a lot of the folks. So Pat Light was awesome. I tweeted about a baseball game that was 5 years old, and I was
I
very
missed
serious.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
What happened?
I got dogged by people that I was standing with because I guess they just run the game over and over again on like repeat on big nights like that when was the Angels like beat the Sox like 20-2 and it's Pat Light and it's like an inside joke that they do.
Oh.
And I don't follow baseball at all. So I'm just looking at, I basically follow Jared Carabas. That's my only source of baseball and Hubs and
all
those
you
guys
need.
going back and forth. So all I know is that the Red Sox are on a bad skid, and they're all like suicidal, and it's very funny. And so I look up at the fucking TV, and they got the game on, and it's 20-2. The Red Sox are losing. And I said to the guys next to me, I go, is this a real fucking game right now? And they go, oh, yeah. And I was like, unbelievable. But even then, at my radar, my spidey sense was, I wasn't convinced. So I waited about a half hour, and I looked again. It was like 20-2 still. And I said, is this a real game? People with me are like, oh, yeah, the Red Sox are terrible right now. And I was like, amazing. So I tweeted and chirped Carabas. Oh, no. And I was like, I don't remember exactly what I said. But then we went down, we're hanging out with Pat Light and the crew and Hubs. And I said, like, man, tough night again for the Sox or something. They're like, that game's 5 years old. We play that here all the time. And I was like, oh, no.
No way.
Turns out my tweet was worded so coincidentally bad for how knowledgeable I was that it came off like I was in on the joke. And
okay.
Carabas even responded and said, hope you're having a great night with Pat Light, one of my favorite people. Like, I know you're just chirping me because you're with him, and I got off scot-free. But I will admit, for the record, I 100% tweeted that thinking it was a real-time baseball result, and I would just fire a random shot at my friend Jared Carabas.
Man, they just run that game, huh? That's like the inside joke of the bar?
I was having a bunch of drinks, so I didn't know the whole inside joke. But, yeah, I think it's involved with Pat Light and the Sox, and it's funny, and they kind of do it, and it's on all the time.
You took a picture of the fucking of the scoreboard, 20-2, and you wrote, "Is this real, Jared Carabas? Saw it at a bar. Hope it's fake, buddy."
Oh yeah, so you can play that off.
Yeah,
totally. Like it's like, oh, I'm just ribbing Jared Carabas.
Nobody even roasted me. They're all like, haha, like that's fun. Yeah, kind of decent tweet, whatever. And then nobody thought anything of it. And Hubs was like, yeah, you just got to ignore that and no one will really notice. And I was like, amazing. So nobody.
But if I tweeted that, I probably would have said, is this happening right now or something like that? And everyone would be like, no, it's not, you asshole.
Yeah.
15 years ago, douchebag.
Stop mixing your cereals.
Stop mixing your cereals, you fucking clown. Somebody put this guy in the fucking jail.
Okay. Simplisafe. We're going to do Simplisafe before we get to Patrick Peterson, and then we're going to be out of here. When Simplisafe home security founders, Chad and Eleanor Lawrence, designed their first security system in their kitchen, they did it for a very personal reason. Their friends had just had their home broken into, struggling to find a security system that was simple to set up and would also make them feel safe again. A passion to protect people not only drives every engineering detail in its product, but Simplisafe motivates every interaction with its customers. And the thing is, Simplisafe just makes it very, very easy. That's why it's called Simplisafe. It takes about 2 minutes to customize a system on their website. Go to simplisafe.com/foreplay. There's always someone who has your back and will keep you safe and make you feel safe at Simplisafe. As our listeners, you can get 20% off on your Simplisafe home security and get your first month free when you sign up for interactive monitoring service. Simplisafe's great. My parents use it. They've been safe. It's been really simple for years. Again, you're going to get 20% off the Simplisafe security system and get your first month free when you sign up for interactive monitoring service. Just visit simplisafe.com/foreplay to customize your system and start protecting your home and family. That is simplisafe.com/foreplay. Save 20%. All right. Fun time, gentlemen. We're going to throw it to Patrick Peterson. Enjoy this interview.
Real quick, we're back. I just wanted to remind everyone, if you haven't seen this yet, we have a Slice pop-up shop. Thank you to Slice. They are partnered with Barstool. They've been one of our greatest partnerships with One Bite for a long time. And they are bringing Borelli's Italian restaurant, my papa's place, to New York City to basically have a New York City pizza place on Wednesday and Thursday of this week. So if you're in New York City, I believe it's 56th and 1st Avenue. We're taking over Brooklyn Pizza Masters. It's going to be a Borelli's Italian restaurant presented by Slice. This is our chance to be able to give back to the Barstool Fund, all the people that have bought shirts and hats and everything and have donated to all the different restaurants, specifically Borelli's, who helped us get our feet back on the ground back in January and December and February, those 3 months that my dad, you could see the video on my Twitter, he never thought we were going to make it through. And people like you guys and Dave and Erica have all stepped up. And the Barstool Fund now is however many, what is it, $40 million or something, and it's a full-blown fucking charity. It's amazing. So now we're able to, my dad just wanted one big thing where he can like now give back every single dollar that comes into this Slice shop in the city, and every dollar that he spends on all the food and everything, like anything that's made from this, he's now just going to give a huge check back to the Barstool Fund. It's like our way of being able to give back to it. So if you want to come by, try some Borelli's Pizza, go on the Slice app. We're going to have a menu. It's going to look like a real store on the Slice app. So Wednesday and Thursday, there's going to be a bunch of people from Barstool there. I know you're going to stop by.
I will definitely be there.
A lot of people are going to stop by. So it's going to be a really cool experience. You can buy really cool merch. The unreal logo of this like tidal wave of cheese pizza coming in, holding a Borelli's box. So
Your father's going to be there?
oh yeah, he'll be there. Laredo will be there. So it'll
Laredo's
Worth
gonna
it,
be
right?
there?
I mean, it's
Yeah.
Laredo?
We're going to try and bring him in. Apparently, they're not telling him where he's going. They're going to pick him up for work like they usually do and just drive him into the city, apparently.
Oh, wow.
So we'll see if he just how
Correct.
quickly he recognizes that he's no longer going to East Meadow. He's going to Manhattan. So, yeah, look for Brooklyn Pizza Masters on Google Maps. Search for that. You'll take you right. It's on First Avenue in New York City. It'll take you right there. We're going to be there all day, Wednesday and Thursday. Borelli's Slice pop-up shop. Thank you to Slice. It's going to be an amazing day. Come try the pizza. If you want to, or also the Detroit-style pizza that I've been fucking putting out. We're going to have a limited edition. We're going to have a limited amount of them on the app where you have to order them on the app. You can't order them in the building. Do that. That's going to be a nice.
I'm going to do that.
Like, you guys should do that because my cousin's there making them. They're there today prepping them. So, should be pretty cool. Just wanted to add that at the end here and, you know, hopefully see everyone there. Hopefully we can raise some money back to the place. And hopefully, like, you know, you can basically clean Borelli's out of all the stuff that we're going to be bringing.
Clean them out. Stop by. Say hi to Laredo and Mr. Borelli.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back on Thursday. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
All right, folks, we're joined straight from camp. He's got the clap game down as well. Minnesota Vikings, 8-time Pro Bowler, and I believe a pretty big golfer these days. Patrick Peterson, welcome to the show.
How you doing? Doing great. Thanks for that warm welcome.
Oh, yeah. I imagine, you know, in the middle of camp, it's probably a nice little reprieve to get away and chat a little golf.
No doubt about it.
Hell yeah. How is your? I mean, you play a lot of golf. You're recent to golf. You've been playing your whole life. What's your kind of experience with the game of golf?
I've been playing since 2011. So April made 10 years. April that just passed. So I'm still kind of fresh into the golf game. But you know, once that golf bug bit me, it was hard to kind of flick it off. You know, and been lucky enough to be drafted in Arizona where the sun is always out year round. Don't have to worry about any seasons or anything like that. You know, if it's not below 35, which it rarely gets, you know, you kind of want to hang the clubs up a little bit. But for the most part, 10 years into the golf game, my handicap is down to a 3. But like I tell all my guys all the time, golf is a day-to-day sport, man. That 3 don't show up all the time, but when he do, watch out.
How did you get the bug? Was it like playing with a specific group of guys, or like what made you want to pursue picking up the game?
When I got drafted, I came into the league on that lockout year. So after workouts every day, I wanted to find something to do and still stay competitive. You know, I didn't want to run my body in the ground by just training around the clock every single day. I needed a break at some point to let the body kind of recoup and get ready for the next day. So I was living in Palm. I cannot think of the name of the place where I was living in Hollywood, and they had like this. This was Top Golf before Top Golf. They had like this huge lake or pond, and they had like a bunch of bays to where you can just go out and just hit balls into the bay. And they had a couple of targets out there in the lake as well. And my first club I ever hit, 7 is my favorite number, and it was a 7-iron, and I hit it just, I kid you not, straight as an arrow. But the ones after that was not so straight. But after seeing that first shot go straight, I was like, this is what everybody's been talking about, you know, because you always hear about when you're in the profession that I am in and being an athlete, like you want to find something else that can keep that competitive juices going with your boys. And after that first shot, I was like, okay, I think I might get a hang of this game. And then obviously getting drafted to Arizona, And everywhere in Arizona, there's a golf course within 3 miles of each other. So all I saw was golf courses. I was like, I think this is a calling and a sign for me to get into the game. And that's when I got into it.
If that 7-iron hadn't gone straight, would you have just given it up right then and there?
Nah, because I still, because you always hear the notion that, golf is a game that you can't master. With me being a guy that I feel I have to master my position to be good at it, it kind of gave me that extra motivation to try to continue getting better as I can.
Do you get like pissed off when you can't master golf, right? Because like your position, you've been like the best in the world. You've been the best at pretty much every level, and then you get out there on the golf course, and like you said, sometimes you show up and you're a 3 and you're a stick and you're destroying people. Other times, I'm sure you're like the rest of us. You show up and you're like, "Ooh, boy, is it going sideways today?"
Right, no doubt about it. It's definitely been like that a couple of times. Like when was our last off day? Last Sunday, the golf game definitely went a little north for sure. But but I got an excuse, going in practice every day, lifting weights and things like that, kind of get in the way a little bit of my golf game. But I don't mind it. As long as it's where it needs to be. By the time I get to Tahoe, I think I'll be okay.
I gotta say, hitting range ball, I don't know what it is, man, but hitting balls into water. Like if everybody's ever hit a driving range where the landing area is water, no matter what it is, it's game changing. Like it is so satisfying to hit balls out into a body of water. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. That's the only time I want to hit it in the water.
Oh yeah.
Who are some of the guys you played with when you got drafted in Arizona? Who were some of the guys that you would go out and play with a lot?
Larry Fitz has got to be at the top of the list, right? Competition.
No doubt about it. Play with Fitz the most. Andre Roberts when he was there. Carson Palmer. Bradley Sowell. Gerard Powers. Rashard Johnson. Michael Floyd.
I had a good crew.
Yeah, we had Drew Butler, which was a stick. Played with Andy Lee. Pretty much all the specialists every year. We definitely always had a game with those guys. But as the years went on and as I got older, the locker room started to change. It's starting to get younger, and all the younger players, all they wanted to do is play like I don't even know the name of that game. Like it's like you in war. Call of Duty.
Yeah,
Call of Duty, Fortnite. All the younger generations are more into the video games. And when I first got in the league, it was almost like, let's go hit the links after practice, or we got a short day, let's go hit the links. It was always trying to get to the golf course because we also, like I said, kept those competitive juices rolling.
So I got a good Larry Fitz story. So first time I ever met him, I'm Mountain Shadows, that par 3 course.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He like lives right there now. So
yeah.
I didn't really know that. So I was like the last tee time off is like 5 p.m. This is probably 3 or 4 months ago. It was like 5 p.m. Last guy off, going by myself. We got a little music playing. I tee off, and then I see Larry Fitzgerald walking up behind me, and he's like, "Hey man, what's your name?" I was like, "I'm Riggs," and he's like, "All right, Riggs, you mind if I like join you and play with you?" And I was like, "No, man, like that'd be awesome." So, he tees off, he gets up to the green, and we're putting. He goes, "All right, Riggs, how much money you bring with you?" And I was like, all right. And so we had ourselves a little game. We ended up all square after 18. But now he kind of messages me. We chat about golf. But that guy loves golf.
Oh, that he does. That's kind of strange that he'll offer you a bet, but I can't get a bet on the golf course.
That's because you're down to a 3. He ain't playing against you.
He'd be wanting too many strokes. I can't give him 5 strokes. It's just not happening. I tell him all the time, like you're a Pebble Beach AT&T champion. You should be playing me straight up. I don't care. I don't care what your handicap is.
Right. Because what's he play off of? Does he play off he tries to play off like a 9 or something?
Yeah, Lord knows, man. He got it down to a science where he can kind of raise that index up a little bit every now and then.
It's down to a science. So you mentioned your favorite number 7 earlier.
Yeah.
That's tied into a lot. Now, once you moved over to Minnesota, you're going to wear number 7. I believe no D-backs worn single-digit number. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so. It's been a while. I know that, at least because I know Larry Wilson, which is a safety. He wore it with the Cardinals. I can't remember what year it was, but he was number 8. but it was a long time ago. So
Is that like is there like an interesting process to that, or you just roll in town and you're like, yeah, I'll take number 7, and they're like, all right, cool, man.
honestly, I got kind of lucky because I changed teams right when they changed the rule. I believe if I was with the Cardinals, it would have been like some type of payout process I would have to do because of the jerseys that was made and this, that, and the other. So it was an easy transition for me. So once I got news that the league was going to approve single digits to just not only quarterbacks and receivers, just quarterbacks and specialists, I was like, oh, I'm all game for sure. I got to get number 7, and it just happened to work out. Coming back to my old roots, that purple and yellow, and it just felt right. I just thought it was the right thing to do at that point for sure.
And then you got into the NFT game.
Yeah.
You got, you're using it. It looks like as an opportunity to raise money for Patrick Peterson Foundation for Success. But how does somebody decide to get into the NFT game?
Yes, on fandom.com/P2 to have a chance to win, that NFT, which is a pretty cool jersey of of my LSU number 7, and also with me being in the Minnesota Vikings number 7 as well. And it's all for my charity. It's for a great cause. Patrick Peterson Foundation for Success is to help kids with getting an upper leg on literacy, because we know how important that is into this world. If you're not able to read directions or understand what's going on, you're going to have a hard time of being successful. So when the opportunity presented itself to me, I thought it was a no-brainer to not only get the fans involved, but also have my foundation reap the benefits so these kids can have a much brighter future.
What went into starting the foundation? How long have you been doing the foundation? What kind of motivated you? You're a busy guy. You're obviously a pro athlete, one of the best in the world at what you do.
Yeah.
Clearly like to play golf. I'm sure whenever you're just exhausted from the season, from camp, you're gonna choose to kind of focus your efforts on helping other people. What all went into that?
Coming from Broward County, pretty much is like a athletic mecca. You have all type of sorts of different athletes coming out of the county of Broward, but at the same time, majority of them don't have the keys to be successful in the classroom or have the right tools to be successful in the classroom, which ultimately is going to get them to the next level. So the Patrick Peterson Foundation for Success has been going on since 2014. And like I said, with Broward County having so many great NFL greats come out of that county, just seeing those guys, lay the foundation for us for when I was able to be on this platform that I am on today. I wanted to be able to lend a helping hand and be able to give back to my community wherever it was, which if it was in Florida, Arizona, now being here in Minnesota, just show the community that that we are out here to help you guys. And going back to why I started it, seeing so many great athletes come through Blanchile, through my middle school, even elementary, but not having the confidence and not having the proper resources to help them with their literacy skills, because, some 9 times out of 10, that's what's holding, kids back, not having the proper tools to be successful in the classroom. So I thought it was a no-brainer for me because, I feel like it's so many athletes go, fall to the wayside by not having that area in their life cleaned up. So like I said, I just wanted to just show the community, whatever community that I was in, that I'm willing to give a helping hand, because at the end of the day, these kids are definitely our future.
It's cool, man. It's really cool. Anytime you see somebody who's, uses their success and uses it to do selfless stuff, it's cool. It's awesome. It's very inspirational.
And not only literacy, but we have turkey giveaways. We have Shop with a Jock. We visit hospitals, children's hospitals on Christmas or throughout the season, if time permits itself. Last year, obviously going through COVID, didn't really have the opportunity to do a couple of those things. I have a Feed the Homeless on Tuesdays. Every Tuesday is still going on in Arizona. Feed the Homeless every Tuesday. Because like I said, I just want to just show the community that I'm definitely willing to give out a lend a helping hand.
That's
awesome.
amazing.
That second one,
That
you
is-
said shop with a jock.
Yep, shop with the jock.
What's that?
Just get a group of kids. I think the most we ever had was about 200. Just take them to Walmart or Target or wherever, my foundation is able to get a sponsorship.
Yeah.
We'll have a little shopping spree. I think last
awesome.
year I gave the kids, I want to say $200 a piece. And it's been going up every year because, that's like the best time of the year, Christmas time. And a lot of kids don't have, the opportunity to go to the store and get what they want, and I just feel it's nothing like seeing a smile on those kids' faces when they have an opportunity to go in Walmart and get a bike or get a video game. And the most beautiful thing about the whole situation that these kids are just not thinking about themselves. They be going to the store. I got to get a gift for my mom. I got to get a gift for my dad. I got to get a gift for someone else. And just showing that selflessness attitude, when they're not even, able to make themselves happy. They're willing to go out and try to. All right, they're giving something, but at the end of the day, I'm still thinking about my loved ones at home because they don't have the same opportunity that I have.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Those kids must go nuts running around that store.
Go.
Women must be so excited running around.
Oh,
that
yeah,
place.
they go
It's
nuts
awesome.
all the time. And it do be time to where they go over the limit. And I just have that soft spot in my heart. I'm like, just ring it up. I'll take care of that.
That's great. That's
great.
awesome.
Don't let the kids hear this because they'll be going way over the next time.
Yeah, they are.
So I
Don't
always
let
tell them
listen.
though, because I typically try to shop with all the kids, and I kind of obviously I know their limit, and I know the gifts that they're the toys and stuff that they're getting. So I kind of have like a calculator in my head. All right, you're getting kind of close now. I kind of give them like a $50 limit to go over. So it can't be over $100, and I go to the cash register with all the kids, seeing their numbers. All right, give the cashier a thumbs up if it's over. If it's under, I let them keep their cards. Just things like that. Just like I said, Christmas to me is the best time of the year, and everyone in the world looks forward to that. It's not like like Thanksgiving. Although Thanksgiving is a great holiday, but everybody don't typically look forward to Thanksgiving like they do Christmas or a birthday.
We're a huge Christmas podcast.
We made a big pledge. We made a
are.
big pledge this year that we're going all in on Christmas. December 1st, this podcast is a full Christmas
Sometimes
podcast.
you got to remind yourself about it, right? Because like it'll be December 18th, and you're like, man, I just didn't do anything Christmassy this year. Like
Right.
I didn't get in the spirit, and I just feel like we need to really like put our foot down, and we are gonna be Christmas people this year.
I love it.
That's really awesome what you're doing, man.
So
Are you
cool.
are
It
you
is.
excited to be in a new team? I mean, was it 10 years with Arizona? It's been a long time, 160 something games. Like,
Yep.
does this feel like how does it feel to like be with like a whole new organization? Is it like a fresh start? Do you feel like a rookie again a little bit?
Definitely don't feel like a rookie again. But it's an awesome opportunity that me and my family have a shot at experiencing. Being with a team for 10 years, you kind of don't know how other teams move around, and you always have that thought in your mind, like, oh, I wonder how they do it. I wonder how they do it, or are we doing it the wrong way, or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, we look at it as a fresh breath of air. You know what I mean? You can be somewhere for so long, and things can kind of get stagnant, or you can kind of get I won't necessarily say drained, but things can start to get old. And now being here in Minnesota, it just feels like a fresh start for me. The team has definitely embraced me. The guys come to work each and every day, as I do. Everyone has just been awesome around here since day one. So I'm excited to be here. And I think, if we can we have all the pieces that we need to be successful. Now we just got to go out there and do the work.
And you got new golf courses to explore. Yeah, new golf.
Yeah, that's true. Minnesota's got some of the nicest people in the country. They're
Some of the
so
best
nice
golf
up there.
too. Some of the best
I
golf.
agree. And I played all the top ones here so far. So I've only been here since May. So I'm getting
So
it
you
in.
played what? Windsong Farms?
Yeah, I played Windsong, played Hazeltine, played Spring Hill,
Spring Hill.
Interlocking, White Bear Club.
Whoa.
I'm playing Mendocata. I think that's the name of it. Mendocata tomorrow.
Have you played Olympic yet?
I haven't played Olympic, but I heard that's probably one of the better ones out here. I'm trying to get on there Labor Day weekend when we
Awesome.
have the days off.
It's great. We were up there a couple weeks ago. It's got really hard greens. Like the greens are tough.
Yeah,
Insane.
that's what I hear.
Minnesota's a little bit mad at me right now. I said it's got the worst weather in the country, and I got several emails. People are kind of trying to.
Yeah, are you at all concerned about going from Arizona to Minnesota? It's quite a change in terms of climate.
I'm excited about it because I never had the opportunity to live, through a season. It was pretty much all sun year round. So having an opportunity to have a true spring. The summers here was not as bad as the Arizona summer for sure.
Okay.
But it can get a little humid, which I'm used to going to LSU, being from Florida. I wasn't really concerned about that, but the winters, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not excited about it.
I was gonna say that first
put it.
dump.
We got to get you back on the show in mid-January.
Right.
Yeah,
I understand.
Fuck, the winter sucks.
I know you're being diplomatic because you're new to Minnesota and you just moved there, but I'm from the Midwest. That winter, you're right. It's nothing to be that excited about.
Right, and my kids are definitely excited about it, especially my oldest, because she found out that school can possibly get canceled on a snow day.
Yeah.
So she was all excited about that.
Dude, I'm telling you, like a 34-year-old adult now, there's nothing better than checking the ticker on the TV. Now they got the internet, so but man, at 8 o'clock at night, you'll see your school scrolls across.
Right.
School day, snow day tomorrow. It's like, let's go.
Or there would usually be like a phone. There would be like all the moms would call each other, and when your phone would ring at 10 o'clock at night, you'd know tomorrow I'm
Perk up.
Right.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Also, now you got a
That's
chance
great.
for a white Christmas too, which is like the best thing in the world when you get snow on
Yeah.
Christmas.
And we've been fortunate enough to be able to go to have white Christmases.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Obviously not in Arizona, but we've been to Flagstaff, been to Vail, been to Aspen.
Wow.
Oh,
A couple of times since my kid's been born. So they had the opportunity to, experience winter, but I told them it's a difference versus going to visit it versus living in it. So
Big time.
it's going to definitely
Once
be
your car gets stuck in the driveway the first time, you're gonna be
man.
like, "Fuck this place."
Don't remind me, please.
I miss winter, man. Winter's great. I like the changing of the seasons. You're gonna get fall foliage, here in the next couple months. So that it just kind of gets you excited, especially as hockey guys. That always was a symbol to me of seasons coming, hockey's coming. It's
Right.
go time. So even especially up there in Minnesota, it'll happen pretty early, but you'll get that, okay, it starts to get a little chillier. It's football season. Let's
Leaves
go.
get a little brown.
Yep.
What's
Yeah.
the best part of your golf game? What are you grinding on right now? What's your worst part actually? That's what I want to hear.
My worst part, I just probably say just being more consistent with chips. Having choosing the right chip or pitch shot around the green. I believe my short game is pretty good, but it's just choosing the right shot on certain greens is definitely something that I want to continue getting better at. But I can get off the tee very well. I'm not very long. I'm not like a 315-yard guy. I'll be lying. I'm about 280, 285 in the fairway almost every time. And my iron play is pretty well. It's just just choosing the right chip or pitch shot around the greens.
Right, because when you're a 3, you're right there. There's one or two things that
Yeah.
you clean that up, man. It's scratch.
No doubt about it.
So are you grinding at that right now? Are you always hitting ranges when you have some time off, or are you just
And
playing?
you know what? I hate range. I hate going to the range. I am they call me trunk slammer because I literally like to go to the tee box. I've been playing golf for 10 years. I kind of know my game. I just need the first couple holes to get warmed up. But for the most part, I hate seeing the ball go in the range because everything looks straight. So if I do go practice, it'll probably be late in the afternoon where I can play about 4 or 5 holes, just hitting balls, because that's where you can actually see results. Range balls are not the same. You're not going to get the same rollout. So I'd rather see real results on the course versus going to the range and just being a ball beater.
Good call.
I think that's good advice.
That is good advice. I really like that.
Yeah, might have to steal that. I got a random question. You ever, you're at training camp. You ever grab the trainers and be like, "Hey, what can I really improve for my golf swing?" Like, you ever try to use those resources?
All the time. There'll be times like during the season, the ball that have the stick on it to for special teams, to get the guys geared up. I'll grab that sometimes and just start swinging it. just try to keep that motion right, baby.
That's so good.
That's
just so good. I love it.
Have you come in with this does the team know you as this good golfer yet? Are you number one on the team? Is there anyone that's better than you? Have you had any matches?
Yeah, we had a couple matches. Me and Harry, we play all the time, but Adam to me is probably the best on the team. So far, Adams is he's a little bit more consistent than me, as far as with those chip shots. 'Cause Adam is about a 1, if I'm not mistaken. He's close to being stretched, for sure. So I'd probably say I'm a healthy number 2 though, for sure.
Oh, it's gotta feel good.
That's damn good. Yeah, you come in with some gravitas with that. You
guys
got some game. Yeah.
It's just such a
That's
freaking
awesome.
Annoying, hard game that when you have that confidence, especially going into a group of guys that you don't know how their games are, it's good to set that precedent that, oh yeah, I have some game, because then you have the confidence on the tee. When we show up with guys and we know they're better than us, for me at least, I crumble. I'm just I'll never show you my potential. I'll never show you my potential. So. Yeah, no, it's good that you're going in there with some confidence.
Oh yeah, you gotta have confidence. That's the only way that's the only way you look forward to a good outcome. Gotta be confident.
We were at that place, Olympic Hills,
right.
the other day, and I was 85 yards out in the fairway playing with 4 NHL players. I was 85 yards out on just the middle of the fairway, and I double hit the ball.
Oh, good thing they changed the rule.
I know.
Count,
I came in so steep, and one of the players says that I hit the ball twice with the club and one with the divot. The divot actually pushed, just smacked the ball sideways.
I love
I
that.
don't think that was a divot. That probably was a beaver tail.
Patrick's talking about confidence and what you need, and Frankie just rushes over it to talk about the mistake he made.
He's saying he has no confidence.
Yeah, just doesn't even want to address the confidence issue.
And it started probably with it was all in your head, oh man, I got an 85-yard shot. You're probably oh, I don't have a club for this.
Yep.
I already know. When you
100%.
have no confidence over the ball, it's going to be a bad outcome.
That's our guy, Frankie.
You just explained my brain, man.
All right, Pat. I appreciate it. You're very impressive. I think all the work that you do, kind of going through that and explaining some of that, was really cool to hear. I think you're very, very easy to root for. Pumped for you to be in a new city, man. And we'll be rooting for you out there. We got to try and play some golf sometime, but it might be tough in your winter.
Man, you got to get here before November. If you get here before November, we can definitely get it in.
That's the deadline. Good luck this year. I can't believe it's already football season coming up. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, we appreciate the time, and good luck. We'll be rooting for you.
All right, thanks, guys. You guys take care.
Thanks,
you
as
too.
well.
See you.